Yeah. Oh, we're live. Hey, everybody.
How'd you do that?
How'd I do what?
You made it live.
I made it
live.
We're live. We're back. How's everyone doing?
They've been waiting here since last week.
They just been sitting there waiting for us.
We're back. We're back. Thanks for waiting.
Yeah. I hope it wasn't too hard waiting for us for a whole week sitting on YouTube waiting for us to come back to podcast. All right. Should we get started, Steve?
Hold on. Am I recording?
I hope so. You said you started recording 10 minutes ago.
I am 16,700 and something frames into this recording.
Frames?
Are you recording? I don't know what frames are.
Oh, weird. All right. Let's do this thing. Here's the intro. It looks like I'm reaching over to kiss you.
Yeah, that's weird.
Hey everyone, I'm Ryan.
And I'm Steven. This is 60 Cycle Hum, the guitar buying, selling, trading, modding, fixing, breaking, reviewing, playing podcast.
Our first ad was sent to us by Nathaniel Bernecker.
Nathaniel
Bernecker. I feel like I messed up his name, then I corrected it. This was on Instagram.
Yeah, this is a Blackaja custom guitar from
Blackaja.
It's from Lidköping, Sweden.
Blackaja.
It's a 27-inch baritone conversion neck, pickguard, and rewiring of this Urquhart guitar.
So I think they're saying that they didn't make the guitar. They did a modification to it. But I want to know what's going on with that pickup, because that is it's very different. This is finally a pickup for Generation X. Finally an extreme pickup. Extreme pickups. Like, this is the kind of pickup you throw in your guitar if you crush Monster and eat nothing but Doritos.
Oh my gosh. This is like, what's the name of that company that you tried to call out and then they reverse called you out?
What? I don't know what you're talking about.
Was it Rukongas?
Okay, yeah.
So some of this is kind of like on that level. So I haven't figured out what this X coil thing is yet. Well, obviously it's a pickup.
Looking at their Instagram, everyone should go look them up. Blakaja guitars. Blakaja. Really cool looking stuff, like custom pick guards and stuff, and custom swirly tortoise materials and things, and just wild designs and very, very cool looking things. But this pickup is what really is catching our attention, because it isn't in the shape of an X, going from the bridge of the guitar all the way to the neck heel of the guitar.
So that's the thing, is this pickup is Urquhart Guitars pickup.
Oh, so it's for that brand.
Yeah, so this is a it's called the X coil. It is a 4-coil pickup. So basically there's 4 coils here. That's you go in between them with a 5-way switch. I'm trying to figure out exactly what the heck. So position 1 is
I think I get it.
Position 1 is the 2 neck position coils. Position 2,
you could either do a straight line going either way.
Yeah.
Or you could do a V.
Yep.
Or an arrow going either way, or you can do the full X.
The full X. Are you looking at it too?
No, but once you said, I'm looking it up. Once you said that, I figured it out. Oh yeah, you've got all these X shapes. It's pretty wild. Because my first thought on this was like, oh man, this is probably like each arrow shape is a single pickup, and that doesn't make any sense, because then you have the high string graduating up to mellower tones And then once you get to the middle strings, then they start to go back to brighter tones on your low strings. But having it go in a straight line like that or reverse could actually be pretty fun. Like you go in reverse and your low strings, your heavy strings, your thick boys are brighter, and then they go lower and lower and lower, and you get those nice mellow tones from your skinny boy strings.
Yeah.
I could see myself having fun with that.
This is so screwy. So I'm looking now that this, this started with the Block-Ha-Ha or Block-Ha-Jaw, but now I'm looking at all these weird pickups. They have one called the Mirror Foil. It says a unique relationship between coil height and width and magnet placement is the key to the tonal footprint of the mirror foil. Every coil is wound by hand to match the guitar. Some other stuff. But the thing with this is it's got this part inside of basically like a humbucker sized guitar pickup, and inside of it has a bar magnet going down the middle, and then slots for pull pieces. And so basically, if your bar magnet that's running the entire length, you find like the output is like one of your string output is weaker than you want it to be, you just drop another magnet in there into the appropriate slot.
Can you send me a link to that? Because I'm not seeing it when I search for it.
Then their other one, which makes me think of Rukongas, is they have a pickup called the Projectionist. Mm-hmm. It's a string through pickup.
Oh, what?
It's a string through pickup. So it's a pickup. I feel like I've seen this on like other guitars, but maybe not. It's a pickup that the coil is. So normally your coil is like this, right? Like, so if these are your pull pieces and your coil goes this way, like perpendicular, the coil is perpendicular to the strings. This one, the coil is parallel to the strings. It's tangential to the strings, but it's tangential. It's like flat. So that's on that site too. If you go to the top and look at the pickups, there's one called the Projectionist.
You have to put a link in the description. Try to remember to do that. Oh, is it kind of like a Cooter Caster kind of pickup where it goes over?
Is that how those pickups are though? Do they wrap around the wrap around the whole string?
Well, I think they just float over, or maybe they're on both sides of it. But yeah, that's a wild concept, and this is like a total like space age looking version of that with that very interesting formed white plastic.
Yeah, it's all. I think they're just ABS 3D printed shells, and like the bobbins. I think the bobbins are 3D printed. But what's really cool that one is because you can see the coil, you can pick your coil color, like the wire color.
Right.
So that's a fun little thing there.
Yeah, I've always liked the look of pickups with the blue. It's funny because I don't like blue guitars, but I like when you can see the coil winds and it's that blue coil, you know?
Yeah.
When I was a kid, I used to take apart, electronics that would die around the house because I was curious. And every time there was something with a little motor in it, whether it be an old telephone with a ringer or something like that, you find the little electronic motor. And I found that when you open them up, most of them are like the copper wire around those. But every now and then you find a blue one or like a green one. Like, whoa, this is different. This is an exciting color. And I had no idea how any of it worked. I just liked taking stuff apart.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. I don't know any, I'm assuming since these are like Swedish European guitars are stupid expensive for us Americans. But I mean, I'd love to mess around with that X pickup now.
I mean, so like the Projectionist pickup, the one we were just talking about, is $175. That's not bad for like a pickup that's what that.
No, I mean, you pay that much for a boutique like PAF that sounds just like any other PAF sometimes.
Their standard guitar starts at $1,850.
That's not terrible.
That X pickup, with the full installation kit, which is the pickup plus a pick guard, is $325.
Nah, it's not insane. I mean, if you're really that curious, it's not insane.
Yeah. You can get an X coil with a pick guard template for $225.
Part of me wants to say, like, oh, instead of the X pickup, can I just buy a really long pickup like that doesn't go the other way? But then I realized I would like to have it go the other way, like, because reverse the scenario I was explaining earlier, like having it be underneath the bridge side of the high strings and underneath the neck side of the low strings is a really interesting combination too, because it really just it accentuates everything. It's like, oh, your highs are higher, your lows are lower, and your middles are middler.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I don't know.
You anything? You know what? That's why this Urquhart.
You can do it.
I have no idea. Urquhart guitars, they're based in Vermont.
Oh.
So it's just the other
Europe.
Blockaja is in whatever that country was, not Vermont. So let's see if we go on. This guy's actually, you can get oh, is this just the neck? No, this is the full you can get like a T-style guitar from this guy off of Reverb for $14.50.
That's not crazy. So this thing made it across the sea to Sweden, and
yeah,
this company is attacking this wild beast.
That's cool, man.
Yeah, you learn something new every day about another company that makes something weird that you never heard about. That's the phrase, right?
What's that? Sorry. I was so focused on drinking my water, I didn't hear you.
I'm going to drink tequila.
Oh man.
I will take super chats.
I got to work tomorrow, so also I don't have any alcohol in my house right now
until I chicken out. I hurt my back jumping on the trampoline yesterday. So. Over the counter like pain meds never do anything for me. So this is me.
We need to
a little bit.
We need to do a podcast with 2 cameras. One camera is the podcast booth, but every once in a while, one of us just gets up to go jump on the trampoline. So the other camera's just on the trampoline.
The thing was, it wasn't jumping that did me in. What it was is my 2-year-old. She gets in the trampoline, she runs around, and then she wants out. But it's like this ridiculous, dangerous climb down a ladder for her to get out. So I grabbed her. And I poked half my body out the trampoline and bent all the way over to place her on the ground from the trampoline. So basically fold myself in half.
Right.
And threw my back out that way. You know, hyperextending.
You gotta lift with your knees.
I gotta be like, I just gotta close the door, and like once you're in, you're in. You can't leave until the other person is dead.
Oh, you have a safety net on your trampoline?
Yeah, you got to.
What is this?
If you didn't have a safety net on your trampoline, like people would be dead already.
This is why the globe is overpopulated
because
of trampoline nets.
No, like seriously, like Henry would be dead right now if I didn't have a net around that trampoline.
Yeah, right. He'd be swimming in your brother's pool.
No, I like full send him. Like I jump right next to him and then I pull my legs up really fast and it shoots him like 6 feet up in the air. And if he gets going the wrong direction, he flies into that safety net. Like he bounces off of it.
Or you send him in the right direction. He's already there. You jump off out of your office window, land on the trampoline, send him over into your brother's pool.
I would die, or the trampoline would pop in half if I jumped from upstairs.
I don't know. This seems like a great idea.
So what's new, Steve?
I got to take my Les Paul out for the first time ever.
Oh, really?
Yesterday.
The first time ever. You've had that thing for like a year and a half or something.
Yeah,
right?
That's how often I play guitar in front of people.
It's usually behind people.
In front, behind, around. So I had that, and I had the pedal board that I put together a few weeks ago. So I got a bunch of pedals that I was really excited to use, and then I got it all there and realized, oh, I only need like 3 sounds.
Right.
So literally,
sounds here.
Literally, it was like funny because it's like I've got a reverb one of the reverbs I have modulates. Actually, I think maybe both of the reverbs I have modulate. And maybe that's part of the problem is I don't fully understand the pedals that I own. So yeah, I was using them. I was using them all. Actually, but I actually only ended up using like a drive pedal and a reverb pedal. And then sometimes I switched between the two reverbs on my board, and then sometimes there was a delay.
A delay in you using the two reverbs on your board?
No, it's like sometimes I used a delay. I really want to use the trem pedal I have, this one, the parabola one.
Oh, you're wearing the shirt for it.
Yeah, I just happened to be wearing the shirt. But yeah, it's funny because I also have a chorus pedal, and between the chorus pedal and having either of the reverbs or the delay modulating, I was like, oh, I think this just sounds like I'm not playing in key. And which was already a problem because we had one song that was in F sharp major and another song in E flat major, and I was like fighting to like play both of those songs.
Was the leader playing a baritone or something? How is it?
It's just playing acoustic. I don't know if it was like flat tuned or
E flat tuned worship leaders. Something has to be done. They have to be stopped.
Yeah. Our piano player for the song that was in F sharp transposed the keyboard, and then we got to the E flat song and she was having the same problems that I was having in finding the key. So she's like, hold on, I need to transpose this too. Like, oh, must be nice. Like my brain doesn't process capos that way. So like I had a capo on hand, but even if I tried to use it, it's not like I could just be like, oh, I'm going to play D shapes all moved up one.
Right.
I'm either doing that by nature or I'm not. Like the capo doesn't help me outside of like open position. So if I'm doing cowboy chords or if I'm doing stuff like all around the headstock side where the capo is, like then it helps. But otherwise, like if I'm doing stuff and it's like, no, dude, you're supposed to be on fret 13, not fret 12. Like the capo doesn't help me at all.
Right.
So I got to practice.
I'm so focused on scales and playing lead and stuff like that. I don't even think in the chord shapes.
Right.
But it's like, if I have to play major keys that are lower than G, then it's like, well, I guess I'm just going to be really high up on the neck because I really only like know how to start from like 2.5 different like blocks
right
within my major scales, for church. I mean, everything at church is a major scale. I don't know if everyone knows that, but it's basically
the other
major scales. Every now and then you get a minor, but it's very rare.
Yeah. Do you guys play with tracks?
Yeah, we do.
So that was the other thing I was fighting on is we had the tracks running for 2 of the songs, but none of the parts were removed. The keys might have been removed, but I'm not even sure if there were keys.
Yeah, that's the worst when it's like, oh, we're going to start with tracks and that like almost the full track load is on there. It's like there's 3 guitar parts on the track.
Yeah.
There's
so
there's like there's congos and there's drums and like there's all these vocals going on. Like it's not meant for you to run all the tracks. You're supposed to pick like the 2 things you need to fill it out,
Yeah, so here's this is gonna get maybe a little too genre specific, but do you guys do the song "Glorious Day"?
Probably. I mean,
so there's like
and I'll let you know.
There's a really like there's a in between like there's in the chorus there's like a line and then a guitar response is just like diddly doo 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 diddly doo 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 doo, and that lead guitar part like the track was still there, so it's just like I was trying to play but not matching up 100% with the track, so it just sounds weird. And I was like, should I tell the sound guy to remove the track? And then I was like, but the track sounds better than me, so maybe I should just play something else.
Yeah. Well, when there's tracks left in there, I start to mirror the track, and then I start to do alternate stuff against it, and like start to do like harmonies against the track.
Right. I was just like, I was like, well, because that's a pretty high lead part. I was like, I could play like a different lead thing lower as like a counter melody, but I don't know. It's just weird. I might just ask him to take it out. Instead, all I did was turn it down really low in my mix. It's like they'll figure it out. They'll either turn the track off or tell me to play something else.
Do you have cues in your tracks?
For that song, we did.
I hate the cues.
I appreciate the cues.
3, 4. Yeah. Like
chorus 2, 3, 4. Verse 2, 3, 4.
Oh, I hate it.
Outro.
We need that for the podcast.
Yeah. Ryan, new thing. 2, 3, 4. You should just program the entire Roadcaster to be the little sound bar is just like all the transitions are just that voice. You can get those in the voices of the people.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, so we did at least
Phil Wickham one.
We had the Phil Wickham one. And I was like, we're listening to it. I'm like, why doesn't sound like the normal robot guy? And they're like, oh yeah, we got the Phil Wickham voice for this.
Like GPS for your worship set. Can we get Samuel L. Jackson?
Oh,
can we get Australian robot voice?
If you get Samuel L. Jackson, it's just going to be like, go the fuck to chorus. 2, 3, 4.
That was a really good impression, Steve. You sounded just like him.
My favorite line in that book is you're thirsty? That's bullshit. Go the fuck to sleep.
My wife grabbed that book out of like a community like book box thing.
What?
Yeah, it was just in there. She's like, yeah, I'm gonna grab that. And I was trying to like read a sanitized version of it to Edith.
Oh my gosh.
And she's like, oh, read this book, Daddy. And I was like, oh boy, this is gonna be tough. You get to a point and you literally can't sanitize it anymore. Like there's no word for it. This is the part where you ask me what's new.
Oh, Ryan, what's new? 2, 3, 4.
So I'm doing something I've never done before.
This blows my mind that you've never done this before.
I've never ever done it. I've done it the other side of it, but I've bought, but I've never ever sold on eBay.
Anything.
I've never sold anything on eBay.
That's crazy.
So I put up a listing. I got a super chat. Thanks, David Thomas. I love your hamburgers, Dave Thomas. I'm putting up the Firefly.
Mm-hmm.
It's been up on eBay for 2 days now, and it's already at like $160 or something stupid.
Yeah, I saw that.
The person who's got the current high bid on it is local. He messaged me and was like, hey, if I buy it, can we arrange local pickup to save on shipping? I was like, absolutely. That'll save me time and save us money.
And give you coronavirus.
But who knows? Maybe after this live stream, that'll all be over. It's going to run until Tuesday, so the audio listeners of the podcast might.
Yeah, I heard the shipping is super high.
I don't know, because it maybe fill out. I don't like the way it does the shipping options on eBay. Like I'm going to go to FedEx and I'm just going to pay whatever they charge, and I guess whatever the estimated is what someone will pay.
Yeah.
So I don't know. But yeah, don't buy it because it's a good guitar, because it's not a good guitar, guys. It's got super high sloppy action. It's never felt fun to me. I think the pickups sound kind of decent. I put an upgraded bridge on it, but that's like a $20 part or whatever. So who cares?
Do you have the box and everything?
Yeah, I have boxes.
So just measure it.
I measured it. I put in a custom box size and stuff, and it's still like,
oh, weird.
Freaked the heck out. And then I went back to a default.
Did you weigh it?
It said 12 pounds. And like, that's about right. Okay. Because I started the ad based on a Epiphone Les Paul special. I was like, that'll be close. Yeah. And so it kind of just auto-filled some information in. So yeah, I kind of thought like, here's what I'm going to do. I put this in the description. I thought like, maybe I should donate to a charity with the proceeds or something like that. And I thought about it for a while. It's like, I need to feed my family. Sell stuff. Charities are great, and we definitely do charities plenty around here. But if I sell stuff, I need to put money in my pocket. And I was like, I will use every dollar from this purchase for groceries to feed my family, and I will film myself shopping. And if you want, I will thank the seller in the video, and I'll put it up on YouTube. So
ridiculous.
I'm going to go for it, no matter what this sells for. If it sells for $3,000, I'm going to go spend $3,000 at the grocery store.
Good luck with that one.
I'm going to load up on so much ramen.
I think if you went to a standard American grocery store, you could probably buy all of the ramen. I don't even know if they would let you do that right now. They might.
Buy all the ramen?
You could probably buy all of the ramen for like $50.
Here's
some of the ramen is a little fancier.
You know what? You go to the Asian markets that we have here in Mira Mesa, and now people can stalk me. They can figure out what town I live in.
Yeah, because you've never said it before.
There's an extreme variety of ramens. Extreme. And I want to, I actually do want to try them all. There's ones that like highlight, like, oh, these are the spicy boy ones.
Yeah. Have you ever watched the spicy noodle challenges?
Thanks, Dave Thomas. No, I haven't ventured in to the spicy noodle challenges on the internet.
I mean, they're kind of over now. They were a thing like 4 years ago.
Oh, okay. Well, if they're over, I won't look into them. I like to take cheap ramen and fix them up. I like to throw some frozen peas in there and some sliced up carrots. And if I've got some chicken in the fridge, I'll dice up some chicken and throw it in there. I look at a pack of cheap ramen and I look at it as a meal starter. You ever do that?
No.
You just eat it dry and then pound back the seasoning packet.
Yeah, I don't even cook it. I'm just here for the MSG, man.
Should we do a sponsor?
Yeah, this first sponsor is Chase Bliss Audio.
Oh, I forgot to do the intro screen. That's what I forgot.
Makers of pedals, more creative than you are. Chase Bliss Audio is a company. I saw a thing the other day where someone was like, most overrated or most overpriced or overrated or whatever pedal companies, and somebody mentioned Chase Bliss, and it's like a forum I don't really care about, but I almost
saying that right now, describing the situation, I started to throw up a little bit.
I know. I was like, you know what? Like, if they're not for you, I'm not saying Chase Bliss pedals are for everybody.
They're not.
If you're a microbrain like me, not for you. That's okay. But if you want to if you want to challenge yourself, if you want to make sounds that you didn't think you could make in a compact pedal, Chase Bliss pedals do that.
Ask any pedal builder, any of them, even the biggest asshole pedal builder in the world, and say, hey,
Mike Fuller.
Are Chase Bliss pedals under-designed or over-designed? They're going to be like, they're over-designed. Like you open those bad boys up and the guts are crazy on those. Like you pop them open and it's like, there's no room left. Like if they couldn't put a USB drive on there, they couldn't put a headphone jack. There's not room left anymore. It's like an Apple computer. They've got to start doing away with CD drives and stuff to make room for all the supposed stuff inside. But yeah,
anyway, Chase Bliss pedals, not overrated, not overpriced. Go check them out. ChaseBlissAudio.com.
But priced at a level not everyone can afford. They are premium pedal and they are a premium option because they are packed full.
Because they're freaking awesome.
Yeah, they are bananas. Chase Bliss Audio. They make pedals more creative than you are. Go check them out. You already know about them. Go check them out. I don't know.
What? All right, this topic was sent by a person.
A topic. Here we go. A person.
Trying to find it. Never have I ever. Oh, Levi Main. Levi Main says, talk about 4 pedals you can't do without.
I mean, isn't he a recent inner circler?
He is.
We'll circle back around to him when we get to housekeeping. 4 pedals you can't live without.
No, he's not that recent. 4 pedals I can't live without. Right now, the current version of my board, the 4 pedals I would say I could not live without.
You know why I thought he was recent? Because I just sent him a shirt today.
Yep, I know. I would say
Yeah, I mean, this is like your desert island board. This is like you can only have 4 pedals, and they're gonna be the core of everything that you do forever. So what do you start with?
Well, on the one hand, I feel like I could go to like the cheat code version and get my Quiet Theory Prelude back from Aaron Abubo from the Gear Slum, because that's a 2-in-1 pedal.
There you go.
It's a delay and a reverb. But I guess I'm just thinking about what I currently got. I will tell you that one of the pedals that I did not turn off, I just dialed it in and left it alone yesterday, was the L reverb from Big Ear Pedals.
Yeah, the L was great.
And it was interesting because like I dialed it in and I was like, well, I remember working with that, messing around with that one at home and being like, this is so subtle. Like, I don't know if it's going to like get the job done, but it's like perfect for that. It's perfect for that always on.
Yeah, totally. It's a little bit of traditional. It's a little bit of modern with like that, like modulation thing.
Yeah.
Through. And it's a really nice pedal to have on your board. If you're not trying to go crazy, it's not your go crazy reverb.
Right.
Like this, you're always on.
I'm going to go with, I don't actually have it on my board right now, but I'm going to go with the Timmy.
Okay.
I really like that drive. That's a drive pedal that every time I take it off, it goes back on pretty quickly. Take it off, goes back on. Mm-hmm. I am using the pedal I was using yesterday was the Like My Pedals K2, which sounded pretty good, but I could probably swap those. But I think, for this, I'm going to say the Timmy. For a delay, so I'm just going drive, delay, reverb. For the delay, I'm going to go with the Megabyte from Caroline Guitar Company. That thing is kilobyte on steroids. Basically, it's kilobyte with the tap tempo, some longer things. It gets a little crazier. It's a pedal that I don't fully understand because they use symbols instead of words.
They're cryptic.
I mean, I should know. I own so many pedals from them. I should know what all the symbols mean. But I feel like I need to like make a little infographic for myself to be like, this always means gain. This always.
You just close your eyes when you turn the knobs and you pay attention to what's happening. And you're like,
yeah,
okay, it sounded better over there than over there, so I'll turn it back over there. Like, don't worry about it so much. Just relax.
And then the last pedal I'm going to go with is coming back to. I'm going to get a little dirty and go with the coming back to Big Ear Pedals, the Woodcutter.
There you go. Double Big Ear.
That's my 4. Yeah.
That's not just because you feel self-conscious with Grant watching us in the chat, do you? I mean, he's over there.
Is he in there? Oh, there he is. How about that? Didn't even notice.
Didn't even notice. No big deal.
I mean, I've seen some other stuff he's working on that could get on this list. Just saying.
I mean, I'm predictable. Everyone knows what I like. I'm gonna have
Helix,
2 Clones, and then an Axe Effects. No big deal.
Yeah.
No,
Super Rich Steve's Essential 4 pedals is just 4 Clone Centaurs.
All in parallel because they're going to 4 different dumbbells. With those cables that have to be suspended off the ground by little holders. No, for me, I mean, the 50-50, 2 DoD 250s I can stack if I want for my light gain and for distortion sound. I mean, it covers a lot of ground for me, and it does the sounds that I like. Obviously, a reverb. I'm going to go with the Surfy Bear. If I'm only going to do 4 pedals, I might as well commit to the big boy that's going to do exactly what I want. Even though it's a bit of a pain to power and the size is there, but I've only got 4 pedals. I can put the other 3 pedals on the Surfy Bear. Yeah. I love having a tremolo. I just do.
Tremolo?
A tremolo.
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 Tremolo. You got to get that dude, that Russian dude. Tremolo.
Now it comes down to the last slot. Do I go fuzz or do I go delay? I love fuzz. I love delay. This is where it's really hard.
Fuzz delay.
I can't really play at church without a delay. Is there a pedal that's fuzz and delay? Grant, don't make it for me. It's a bad idea.
The Keeley Dark Side describes itself as a neo-vintage fuzz and multi-head tape delay.
Yeah, but is it the right kind of fuzz? I think I'm just going to go with delay and just trust the 50-50 stacked both sides to be my high gain.
Their fuzz is I think it says it's a 1977 op amp style, which I think is code for muff.
Yeah, I don't want a muff delay. I want at least like a super fuzz delay. Man, which delay do I choose? That's tricky when you really think about it. I want tap tempo. It's really like I need that for church. That is like the pedal to get me through church. And the other pedals get me through my surf rock stuff. Man, I guess I'm going to go with the Walrus D1 because it covers a lot of ground. I feel like there must be something crazier that I should go for. Yeah, maybe a rubberneck.
Ooh.
Michael Crowd said rubberneck.
That's a good one.
Because that'll give me some crazy stuff to get into. And it does like some core, like just analog delay sounds that are good. You know what? No. Fourth pedal, the delay slot. I'm just going to do an HX stomp.
Oh my gosh.
No, like a rubberneck would be a good pedal. Or something comparable. I'm not picky with the sound, but I want to be able to go into full oscillation. And the D1 doesn't do that. The D1 doesn't do the space sounds. So, yeah.
Death by Audio has a echo delay.
Get you a little bit of verb, a little bit.
Oh, but I think it's all like built. It's not like it's not like a dual effect. It's a
right.
It's like a delay that runs through a fuzz. All in the same, like it's serial. It's just one switch.
Right. On to the next ad?
Yeah.
Let's do this first little one and let's see if we can move on to the second one in the same
We're
slot.
doing this one?
Yeah, why not?
Oh, yeah. That is what I have written down. Drum machine must be stopped. Drum machine is killing black metal. Drum machine is next keyboard/crutch and is dagger in the back of black metal. Drum machine allows lazy people to start bands. In 80s and early 90s, no one used drum machine. In 80s and 90s, the music was much better than now. When I hear drum machine, I think of a bedroom or an office cubicle. This is not where black metal should be made. Real drums done poor is better than drum machine. Instead of spending $100 on rare eBay vinyl, go buy a used drum kit and learn to play. It's not hard. Drum machine allows the underground to flood with worthless bands. Drum machine makes me want to stop buying demos because every other band uses one. Drum machine sounds like Eurodance music playing in the background of a black metal song. How old is this ad? I don't understand.
Drum machine will assimilate. Drum machine is coming for your meatbag family.
Drum machine, drum machine, drum machine, drum machine. I want a drum machine, and the button is just going to be the voice saying drum machine, and you're going to do a whole song. And the snare is going to be, actually, you break it up. The snare is drum. The cymbal is the kick is
it just breaks up the phrase, each syllable into different sounds.
No, I'm thinking like what, like the hi-hat has got to be the sheen. So you're just going sheen, 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 drum, sheen, drum, sheen, drum, sheen, drum, sheen. I gotta move my hands higher.
Drum.
And then you got the kick. The kick is just mock, 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 mock. Then you got double bass. I love it. I want it. I need it.
Happen.
I don't know how to program.
Okay, besides the genre of black metal, and besides like just speaking about this ad in particular, in fact, I can even just take it off the screen because we've seen it. We can just discuss it now. How do you feel about people using drum machines to start their band, to make demos, to work on their projects and even
demos
to perform live with them.
Demos, that's fine. To start your project in your bedroom, that's fine. To write songs, to practice, all of these things.
Mm-hmm.
Fine. I think that's fine.
What do you think about live performance?
For live performance, I think if you have it, it's got to be like a quirk.
I think if you have it for live performance or even for your final recording, like this makes it on the album. This is my album. This isn't a demo. This isn't a proof of concept to get a band. This is my album. It has to be like, this can only be a drum machine.
Or that.
If it's filling in for a drummer, but what should be a human drummer, because you're going for a human drummer sound, just get I say put in the effort and get a human drummer. But if you're going for like this has to be a drum machine sound, and then of course you're going to use a drum machine. Of course.
And that's what I mean by like live performance is like, if I see a one-man band who's got like a drum machine and maybe even like a bunch of weird stuff that he programmed in Ableton or whatever, that between every song he like leans over and hits the next button to boot the, we were talking about tracks earlier.
Right.
And it's just a one-man band. Like we hosted guys like that at the Park Gallery, sure. Every once in a while. And that's fine. Like I'm fine with that. It's, my thing is like, if you've got, 2 electric guitar, like your black metal band. So you've got, 2 metal guitarists and a metal bass player and some dude in like, robes and face paint and then like between every song, the bass player's got to walk over to the back and like push a button to like cue the next song. Like that's lame.
Yeah. Well, there's ways to control that with floorboards and stuff like that.
Sure. And at the same time, like I said, if it's a gimmick, like you said, like if it's obvious, so I would prefer like if someone's trying to do like authentic metal and they're doing that, it's just kind of like,
yeah, I think in the case of metal, like part of the thing with metal is like you want to show.
Yeah,
you don't want to see some guy playing to tracks. You want to feel the energy of a full band just like shaking the room.
Yeah, but if you're doing like I can't remember, somebody was like, when we take these album suggestions, someone sent one that was, because the challenge was like find something that Steve would really hate. And we would talk about how like the problem is it's like mutually assured destruction, because somebody sent one of these like emo goth whatever, like I don't even know what they call themselves, like Broken Side or whatever, where it's just like some dude screaming and it's like the vocals run through like a bit crusher, but it's like dance floor metal music. If they use a drum machine and don't have a real drummer, like that's fine. I would like their music is stupid and I'm still going to hate it, but I'm not going to hate it because they have fake drums. I'm going to hate it because it's awful.
But like if Beck uses an old drum machine on a song or something like that, he's going to make it sound like it's supposed to be there,
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. And that's fine.
It's supposed to be a drum machine. It's not supposed to be, it's not supposed to be a drummer. I don't know. This is obvious. I think it's easy to figure out. Next ad. I just realized I didn't grab the copy for this. So let me go to the group and see if I can find it.
Oh, is there a copy for this?
Yeah.
So this is a custom made. I remember at least some of it if you can find it, but this is
the story's all in there in the picture. Like you understand.
Yeah, this is a custom made 18 karat ring with a 0.23 carat diamond in it. They're saying this is worth $2,000. They're asking to trade for a $2,000 guitar. Here's the problem with this. This isn't worth $2,000.
Oh no.
I'm not sure what this is worth.
I mean, used wedding rings, especially custom jobs like this. I mean, I've never priced them. I wouldn't know what to tell you, but I know that there's pennies on the dollar. Like diamonds are not actually, worth what you pay for them. You're paying for the experience of going through the marriage process with.
Here we go. I found it. I'm not going to be able to post it. Oh, you know what? Why did my browser?
I found it too.
For some reason, okay, I was having trouble making it scroll. I figured that I'd try posting this in the musical instrument section to see if anyone's interested. She broke off the engagement, sad face, but my loss is your gain. This is an affordable and beautiful one-of-a-kind engagement ring for that special nature-loving woman in your life. The ring is handmade to look like the twig of a branch, symbolizing a glorious and abundant future together. That part seems ironic now, but I keep good humor about it all. Here's the details. 18 karat yellow gold, EGL certified vintage white diamond, 0.28 carat weight. Some other things that I don't really care about. Basically, included are the European Gemological Laboratory certificate and the 2-piece case crafted from walnut. I'm asking $2,000. I'm also willing to trade for American-made guitars and/or Canon lenses.
I mean, I've got a few kit lenses, but I think they're probably worth more than this. It also says it's a vintage diamond. Is that a selling point? Do people want vintage diamonds over?
I think vintage diamond implies that it's not that it might be. Yeah, it might be like less of a.
Well, usually when people talk about having, I don't know if I've ever heard them call it vintage diamonds, but it's a thing to have like family heirloom diamonds put into wedding rings and stuff like that. So it's like, if that's what's going on, this guy's trying to sell grandma's diamond in a custom ring or something. I've never heard of anyone going like, "Oh yeah, we just bought a vintage diamond." Like it's usually something that's being passed down.
I'm not sure what I don't know what this certification means. I don't know.
It means it's pre-relict.
Okay, it's so this says vintage is like the cut of it is an old European cut. It's like it sounds like there's certain specific things about it that are that denote it as being, I guess, as being vintage.
So it's vintage style.
So it says it's a shape and cut is old European. The symmetry is poor. Which
this is a relict ring. This is like
well, so that's the thing is I don't know. I know vintage diamonds are a thing that people will get, will go out of their way to buy specifically for certain looks. So vintage diamond, one of the things it says is a vintage diamond is cut to maximize like shape and to maximize the size, whereas a modern diamond is cut to maximize sparkle.
Oh, okay.
So that's a thing that's different. So it's like if you want a diamond ring, but you don't necessarily want to. So that's why you can get like a big vintage diamond ring for like way cheaper than a modern diamond. That being said, I still don't. I mean, the $2,000 is if you really want this specific custom band, because I don't think a 0.28 carat weight diamond is like that. Might be like a $500 diamond or
that's
$300 diamond.
Small 0.28. I don't want to sound like I'm bragging, but I'm pretty sure the diamond I got for my wife was like half a carat. But that was a decade ago, so I don't remember.
Right. I can tell you that like, well, so my wife's ring is
Grant was a jeweler before he was a pedal maker. I actually knew that about him and I forgot. He told me about that before.
I think my wife's ring is a 14 karat, but it was less than this, and the diamond is a similar. But again, like you're paying for this custom band.
14 karat? Maybe you don't remember what carats are.
Carat. There's carat. This has both the. I'm saying the gold is 14 karat gold.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So this is a combination of like carat as a purity measurement for gold and carat as a weight. Two different carats.
Hey everyone, welcome to 60 Cycle Hum, the used jewelry podcast.
What I want to know is this guy saying he would trade for like an American-made instrument. So like, could I offer him my $700 value Les Paul And he'd be like, "Oh yeah."
Can you sell him an older PV?
Yeah, I've got a PV I got for free. If I make a trade, does that count?
Yeah,
it's an American-made guitar.
Can you sell one of those? What is it? The Gibson M2s or whatever they are?
Oh yeah.
Even then, like, I'm looking at this and I'm like, it's only worth $500 if you want this ring.
Yeah.
You know, if you want this ring, it's the same rules as used guitars that are modded and stuff like that. It's only worth it if you want all those mods.
Yeah.
You know, this is a very custom thing. It's a, you know, clearly not a showpiece or like a, you know, an example of perfection in jewelry design, as little as I know about that. But it's a piece with character, but people, you got to find the right buyer for character. And to get someone to be like, oh yeah, I'll trade a $2,000 guitar for that, is going to be a really big shot in the dark. Good luck to this guy. I mean, I really feel for him. Like, can you imagine like everything you go through with a relationship to get to the point where you get engaged and then it's over?
Yeah.
For anyone, guy, girl, any kind of relationship, to be left in the lurch, like, it always sounds like, oh no, oh, you bought that diamond and now it's over. It's like, you get to that point in your life, the diamond and the ring is the least of your worries. It's like, man, threw away years of my life building a life and a relationship with someone, and now all I got to show for it is this expensive ring that I didn't get, you know. It's the cherry on the sundae of, you know, your time and emotional expense.
Oh my gosh. So this is, someone in the chat, Bot Rock 47. Somewhere out there is a lady with an American Strat who will answer this ad. Bam, romantic comedy.
Oh, dude, love connection. She's like, yeah, you can have my guitar, but you got to marry me. And that's the ultimate grift, because then she gets to keep the guitar.
No, that's the tagline is Mr. Movie Phone. She had a guitar. She wanted love. He had a ring and just needed a guitar.
Together, they made beautiful music this summer.
Bruce Willis.
Bruce Willis.
Tia Leone.
And Bruce Willis in a lady suit. Eddie Murphy.
Coming out of retirement. Andy McDowell.
Winona Ryder. We're making a bonkers movie right now.
Nick Nolte. and special guest Forrest Whitaker, but he's young, and you're not sure if it's actually Forrest Whitaker, Larry Fishburne, or Samuel L. Jackson, because we just hired a black guy because it's the 80s.
Teenage CG Forrest Whitaker.
Captain Marvel CG Sam Jackson. Shia LaBeouf from the Transformers.
And the dog from Air Bud.
Stranger Things 5.
Emilio Estevez.
All right, you ready to hit this next sponsor?
I'm gonna die from laughing at this dumb joke that we're making for some reason. Next sponsor, Tour Gear Designs. I need to make a new overlay that doesn't have the photos of the product because I have them here in my hands.
Oh, nice! You got them.
I got them.
How small are they? Are they so small?
Oh, they're so small. I mean, they're about as small as cables are these days, as far as, you know, the plugs go, but they're soldered. And the nice thing is that this part of it is super short. The little support thing there. I've had flat cables like this. You can tell it's the flat cable design, where that part is still long and stiff. And even though it's short, it's still kind of flexible and rubbery. So you can get really flexible with these and put them in between things. I posted a picture on Instagram of two pedals next to each other, and it's like you really can go that thin. You can go together if the pedals are offset the right way from each other.
Cool.
But I'm a big fan of patch cables that are flexible. All the patch cables I tend to use the most have a really flexible cable, and that's what these have. So I'm pretty excited about that. And I like the short flat heads like that. I mean, it's a double win. If you're interested in these at all, you can also get 10% off by using the link in the description of the podcast.
Yep. Or free shipping for orders over $100 if you want
to
order a bunch of them.
And $100 on patch cables, free ship. Or you just put in 60 cycle hum at checkout for your discount code. I've got 6 of them here. They sent me 2 packs. Cool. I'm going to be using these for as long as I still like them until something better gets invented, I suppose. So for the time being, I mean, these are the best.
Yeah, go check them out. Tour Gear Designs.
Tour Gear Designs, yeah. Thanks for supporting us, Tour Gear Designs. They're also sponsoring my road case videos. So there's that.
There you go.
There you go. Album review?
Yeah, let's do it. This week's album is the Blue Album by Weezer. This was Ryan. This was Ryan's pick because I've been swamped at work and we got a late pick in this week. So he picked one that I actually bought this. I bought this with money from Fry's, I think from the $5 bin.
You went to a physical location and bought something with
money? A long time ago. Well, like a couple of years ago. So I've listened to this album once or twice or 5 times. What do you think, Ryan? This is considered a classic album by many people that are your age.
Basically loved and adored by everyone our age.
Yeah.
Give or take 5 years. You know.
Rolling in 2003, Rolling Stone called this the number 297 album of all time, and they dropped it to 299 in 2012. Readers of Rolling Stone ranked it the 21st greatest of all time, but somehow that dropped to also 299 in 2012. There's just basically a bunch of publications who are all calling this like in their top albums of all time.
Sure. Well, it's clearly very popular and it means a lot to a lot of people. I had before today, I had never listened to the album.
So presumably you off of this album have heard Say It Ain't So, Buddy Holly, Surf Wax USA.
Yeah, I mean about half of it. More than half of it, probably. I've heard most of the songs. Or a couple were like, oh, I've never heard this one.
Or Surf Wax America, yeah.
Here's my take on it.
Let's hear your take, Ryan.
Here's my hot take. I've never been big into Weezer. There's been times where I'm like, oh yeah, that's a fun song. I like Buddy Holly. I think Buddy Holly is the standout song on this album. I think it is the best song on the album. And I wish the rest of the album sounded like Buddy Holly. But it's the same thing as like a bunch of other bands that were huge in our social circles and stuff like that, where it's just like people went so bonkers for it.
Right.
And we're so like, oh, part of my personality is that I like Weezer and that's what makes me different. It's like, oh, that's weird. And so I've always just been like, man, I'm not really interested in, if that's where this leads, I'm not interested. The radio songs are okay, I guess. The Sweater song was one of the first things I learned to play on guitar because a friend showed it to me. It's a good thing to know for parties and for busking. It's a simple.
Yeah, there you go.
I mean, they're all simple songs, and I think that's the core of what makes Weezer popular and what makes their music a winning recipe. Is that for the most part they're simple. You can learn how to play them, you learn how to sing them. You can really get attached to them as a young player. But man, a lot of the songs on here, I'm just like, when is this going to be over? It's just kind of like this sludgy, like wait for it to get to the end. And there just wasn't a lot going on. And I know there's probably people right now that are like, oh, he just doesn't get it. He just doesn't like stuff that's, off center, like kind of loosely recorded. No, that's where I live. I love kind of like,
right.
I love, unsteady voices. I love, out of tune guitars and things like that. I love intentionally kind of like off kilter playing. And there's plenty of that in this. I mean, it's an album of its time. What was it? It came out like 95, I want to say. Is my guess. No?
No, I'm sorry. I'm listening, but I'm also like taking some of like the weirdness on the recording, in terms of like the recording history.
Okay,
it's just totally nuts. Yeah, this was like a throw in my car and drive around town album.
Sure,
I listened to a lot. There's definitely some weak spots. I think No One Else is a really hard song to listen to in 2018, 2019, 2020.
I think I had a note on that. Let me find it.
It's basically that the dude wants a girlfriend who's like ugly, I guess, or
is that the one where it's like, I want a girl who never leaves the house?
Yeah, it's like kind of weird.
I think I wrote something down. I wrote so many notes I can't even find it now. Like, unless that song is like sarcastic or about someone else, it's pretty crappy point of view from that song.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, it could be
point of the view of the person singing it. Rivers, right, is his name?
Yeah.
I wrote this note in my garage. Why is Weezer not considered a novelty band? I wrote Surf Wax America is annoying to me, and it really is.
You don't want to take your board to work?
It's like to me it feels like surf exploitation. Like, I listen to it, I'm like, I don't want to. This doesn't represent how I feel about things.
So one of the things that I did not ever know, because again I never bothered to look at it, but this was what I was so fascinated by on the recording. This part almost makes sense. This album was produced by, they originally wanted to self-produce, but Geffen Records insisted that they hire a producer. So they hired Rick Ocasek from the Cars.
Okay.
A thing that you just said is potentially, I think, a thing about them being about Weezer. Why aren't they a novelty act with, songs like the Sweater Song? The Sweater Song is a novelty song. Buddy Holly is kind of a novelty song.
Right.
Buddy
Holly, I like Buddy Holly because it fits deep inside of, the power pop stuff that I like. Your Tripping Daisies, your Fountains of Waynes, Dandy Warhols, your Owsleys, Harvey Danger, stuff like that. It fits clearly into this mid-90s genre of alt power pop that I like, and it really fits here. But then so many of the other songs on the album are just like, this is just a chore for me to get through.
Right. And I think that like idea of them being a novelty, a lot of the bands you just named, like Fountains of Wayne, Fountain of Wayne's biggest song is a novelty song, right?
Right. No, I think a lot of people would listen to that list and be like, oh, I think of those as novelty.
Harvey Danger, novelty,
Like Pulse
Local H, like their cover of Toxic, right? That's their best song.
I wouldn't group them in with those bands though, because they're pretty deep into just grunge. Yeah. Like, I'm talking about kind of like a power pop.
That's
sort of.
Fair. The band I thought of it with a power pop connection actually was Cheap Trick.
Sure. No, I think it would make a ton of sense for Weezer to tour with Cheap Trick. Like,
Cheap Trick might be, or Weezer might be like the 90s version of Cheap Trick.
I could see
like
that.
They kind of just last forever. They won't go away.
The kind of like fake nerd aesthetic.
So anyway, I never got to the thing on the recording, the Rick Ocasek thing. Ocasek, apparently they originally wanted to record all these songs on the neck pickup. So you want to talk about slowing it down. You're already saying that you felt like this album was trudging through. Imagine if all of the guitars were on the neck pickup instead of the bridge pickup. how much right boomier they would be, and just probably sounding slower. The other thing that was interesting is the Matt Sharp and Rivers Cuomo insisted on banning reverb. So there's apparently no reverb on this album.
How dare they?
And all of the guitars, all of the chord work on guitars is downstrokes.
Yeah, I could see that.
So conceptual
stuff like that doesn't bother me. Like,
the thing is apparently, according to their engineer, the concept, and I'm just again I'm reading Wikipedia. They wanted to treat the guitars and the bass as a single 10-string instrument.
Yeah, I could get that.
But just like, okay.
Yeah.
That being said, like I never thought about the idea. I'm still stuck on this idea of Weezer as a novel. They're a novelty band that won't go away.
Sure.
Sweater Song, Buddy Holly, Say It Ain't So is not a novelty song.
I have a note for Saying It So.
Say it.
I said, Say It Ain't So always made me feel gross. The mood of it makes me feel like I need a shower. No idea what the lyrics are about. I try to ignore it every time it's on.
I think if that's how you feel when you hear that song, then the song is succeeding at being what the song is about.
Okay. I mean, it's just like the mood of it and the way it progresses and kind of just the vocal characteristics of it. It's like, it's the same way I feel about Margaritaville. Like, it just makes me feel creepy, even though other people love it. You know, there's something about the timbre of the thing. I don't know, like the mood of it, the soul.
Say It Ain't So as this weird swingy thing, but like it's also kind of like this like proto. I realize like historically this isn't gonna necessarily make sense, but it's almost like lyrically and the way the whole thing flows, it's almost like this proto emo.
Here's the thing.
And the reason I say that doesn't make sense is because emo, like, you know, the punk roots of emo already existed.
Right.
But
so many of our friends and so many of like people in my friend groups back in the 90s and early 2000s and whatnot were like, oh yeah, I'm super big into emo. I'm super big into Weezer. And I'd listen to it. I'm like, this doesn't sound anything like the other stuff that you're calling emo.
Right.
So, to me, it sounds like those other bands that I mentioned. It sounds like your Fountains of Waynes. It sounds like your Owsleys. Like it's a very specific mid 90s subgenre of poppy alt rock. And then they're like, oh yeah, this is like peak emo or whatever. I'm like, I don't think you guys understand the genres that you like.
There's a weird thing with Weezer in particular because there's so much like that 50s, 60s aesthetic in Weezer that also kind of got picked up by and also just the simple, like when it wasn't, you know, Rivers Cuomo wearing dorky glasses and a sweater. I say like I'm wearing freaking plastic rimmed glasses right now. That a lot of like emo, like us emo associated bands picked up on, or you know, just the fitted jean look that eventually evolved into the ultra tight, like let me steal some jeans from my mom look. In like the mid 2000s, like there is kind of this evolution in terms of aesthetic, but yeah, musically it's definitely not as strong, especially when, you know, thinking again, like I'm stuck on this stupid thing you said about them being a novelty band and going down. Hash Pipe is a novelty song. Beverly Hills is a novelty song.
Beverly Hills is a novelty song. The Island in the Sun one is a novelty song.
Sure. Keep Fishing is a novelty song. Like they have songs.
I'm not dissing on I love stuff
I know
that rides into that novelty territory, and often like that label that people put on things like, oh, this is novelty music, is they're just saying like it's not taking itself dead serious and it's fun. Like I love Presidents of the United States of America.
Yeah, they're all novelty songs.
And they're squarely what people say about them is like novelty music that isn't funny. And I think that's an apt way to describe a lot of this kind of music is it's novelty because it's kind of tongue in cheek, but it's not like, haha, here's a Weird Al song. It's like, you know, what if we didn't take ourselves so seriously, but we made songs that were kind of, you know, fun. Right. And people go like, oh, something's fun and not serious, and it's not seriously fun. It must be novelty, you know?
Well, and I think that's kind of like the thing that's tricky with Weezer is Rivers Cuomo is like is known for taking himself way too seriously. But then it's also like, does he take himself way too seriously, and that means he's taking this music too seriously, or is he just really serious about making really not serious music? And it's kind of becomes that whole discussion about, the dudes in Blink 182 are all like 50 years old now.
Right.
Why the hell are they still singing about high school and their girlfriends and whatever, And,
Right. Well, here's the thing. Like,
wow, I said that jokingly, but Mark Hoppus is actually 48 years old.
yeah, you got close. Here's the thing. It's like you can take your music extremely seriously, but your output is fun, loose, seems like lighthearted stuff to everyone else. But you take writing and producing that kind of material very seriously and finding that recipe. It's like, my freaking demo videos are very lighthearted and loose and seem very off the cuff and whatnot. And a lot of times they are, but that's because I intentionally do that. It's I take it very seriously, keeping my vague sense of consistency across the brand of stuff that I do. And it's the same sort of thing. It's like Weird Al isn't sitting there trying to write a masterpiece, serious, like rock opera, and joke songs comes out.
Yeah.
No, he is intentionally working very hard to make parody songs and
part of what
polka medleys and stuff like that. Like, he is working his ass off as a professional to have professional output doing those things.
And what his output on that is like, it's extremely high production value.
Yes, absolutely. For Weird Al takes his production value extremely seriously. Like, it's no joke. So yeah, any more thoughts on Weezer? I mean, you love him, right? You love Weezer, or you like him?
I mean, I'll listen to him.
You listen.
I own this album, but I have only owned it for like 2 years.
Okay, like, so it wasn't like a huge thing for you as you were a kid starting to play guitar, because this came out in '95, I think, and then that means you were 10.
It was pre me playing guitar.
Yeah, I mean,
I was thinking 94 for some reason. Yeah, it was released in 94. My association of Weezer for years was my association of Weezer for years was the freaking video that was used by Microsoft to promote Windows 95.
Really?
Yeah, on the Windows 95 install disk, in order to, or not to promote Windows 95, but to promote like Windows Media Player. There was a digital, I don't know, WMV, I guess, of the Buddy Holly music video.
Yeah.
And I just stumbled upon it because like I didn't really watch like MTV or VH1. It was like not a thing in my house. So I didn't listen to rock music like really as a kid, like modern rock music. So that was my exposure to Weezer, and that was like, and I knew what Happy Days was.
Right.
Like, but I didn't know anything else about this band. And I only knew that song.
In '94, I was 13, and right around then I started picking up acoustic guitar, and a Sweater Song was on the radio. Buddy Holly was big on the radio. So these were right there when I started playing guitar for sure. And I just never latched onto the band. Like I gravitated more towards, I guess, the harder rocking stuff at the time. And then I got into the power pop stuff later in the 90s, so much later, like 97.
Yeah.
When you're a kid, it's like 3 years later feels like forever. Like, oh, 3 years ago I was a different person. Now it's like 3 years ago. That was last week. But yeah, it took me a while to get into that style of music, and by the time I did, I think maybe Weezer was just overplayed to me, so I wasn't interested.
Right.
And I think it is one of those things. It's like the people. I get it. The people who adore Weezer, the people who are mega fans and like, oh, just automatically awesome album, like flawless album in my collection of top 10 albums or whatever. I think there might be a certain aspect of what you were listening to when you hit puberty.
Sure.
And it connected with you when you went through a very important time in your life. And so it just got, I mean, I'm not saying this as a critique because there's plenty of dumb music I listen to that is that for me. That is like,
there's a huge.
I was listening to this when I got my first pubes, and so now it's like, to me, it's the most important music in the world. So
there's I read a paper, like, you know, I don't think it was necessarily a research paper, but it was just an article piece, or there's a philosophy paper. Where basically the premise was whatever you listened to when you were 14 is the music that you will listen to for the rest of your life. Like that will all like
go back to it. It'll be your frame of reference.
Yeah, that will always be like the music that you gravitate back towards. That will always be, you know, the music that you want to go back to check out at some point. Sure. Like that's, you know, when people say, "Hey man, what kind of music are you into?" That's going to be your first instinct. Maybe that's not what you say, but you know, people are going to say, "Well, what do you listen to?" I mean, when was I 14? 1998.
Right.
I mean, that's 1998 was about like when I stopped when I was like trying to figure out music and what I wanted to listen to. And probably first like had my first crack at like some like pop punk, some actual like pop punk albums. So, I mean, that certainly holds true for me. I'm actually, let me see. Yeah, like one of the first pop punk albums I ever bought came out in 1998. When I was 14.
Wow.
There we go.
There you go.
There you go.
I'm looking for the description for there it is. I found it. I forgot to grab the description again, if there is a description.
For what?
Well, I guess it was a very short description.
Are you trying to do an ad, Ryan?
Yeah, let's transition to the ad.
Well, here's a problem. We have to do housekeeping.
Do the housekeeping.
We have a lot of housekeeping.
Do a lot of housekeeping, Steve.
All right. I want to thank everyone who's listening, everyone in the live chat. Thanks, guys, for coming out tonight. Everyone who's going to listen to the podcast later this week online.
We have to read this comment.
The only from Comcast, the only way Weezer could be any worse is if they were Coldplay. The only way Corona-19 could be any worse is if it were Coldplay. Man, do you remember when? Do you maybe that's we may have to listen to Coldplay for a future.
Oh God!
Did you ever listen to early Coldplay?
Yeah.
Did you ever listen to any Coldplay?
Yeah.
Did you listen to Coldplay?
I have a story. We covered Coldplay. I'll tell my story.
I feel like at some point we should probably do either Parachutes or Rush of Blood to the head. All right. Anyway, housekeeping. Thanks everyone for supporting the show, for listening. Ryan just pulled the trigger. If you want to support the show, head on over to patreon.com/60cyclehumcast. This week I want to thank at the $10 level. There are four $10 level people, man.
Whoa.
Yeah. Joseph, no last name given. Lazy Cat Rye, which I think is a username, so that's confusing. Justin Setters and Shane Murray. Justin Setters, I think, had supported us before. I'm not sure at what level. Shane Murray is actually an upgrade. So thanks, guys, for upgrading or joining or supporting at the $10 level. At the $5 level is a Persa Patrick. So all of these people's names so far are going to be getting something from us someday. If I ever find enough time in my life to actually ship some packages.
Have you ever shipped the stuff that I dropped off at your house?
Nope.
So today I finally ordered the shirts for our bragging rights level supporters, the $25 level supporters, which I still can't believe exists and people do that. But I ordered 3 shirts today. So if you're at that level, it's on
the $25 level. And then last but certainly not least is Brent Pembleton at the $1 level. And as we always say, you know, if everyone who listens to the show donated at least $1, it'd be a game changer.
Damn.
I mean, getting any donation is a game changer. Let's be honest. But
exactly. I still can't believe anyone gives money for this
at all.
ridiculous thing. The sponsors, the Patreons, it's all incredible to me that you all enjoy this enough.
Yeah.
Listen to Steve and I ramble about the stuff we would have talked about.
You should send Grant a shirt too. He's at the $25 level before you made this rule.
Okay, Grant, I'll send you a shirt. It was not even a rule. It's just a suggestion I make. Like,
well, it's a thing. I know.
Yeah, it's a thing. I got to do it.
So yeah, like I said, patreon.com/60cyclehumcast is the best way if you want to financially contribute to the show. This last ad was sent by Michael Kraus, who has been in the chat all night waiting for us to get to his ad. Do you have the description?
I do. Beautiful custom-made guitar needs to be completed and should be refretted. The guitar is $250 and the extra parts shown are $50. Do not send me offers. Beautiful. It says needs to be completed and refretted. Interesting design choices here. Some of them are things that you might see on high-end guitars, like the two-tone headstock.
Mm-hmm.
I think actually the second tone on the headstock, this like a gold plate kind of look, is actually kind of very fun. The rest of it is hot garbage, right? I kind of do like, though.
I like the neck. I like the back of the neck thing going on.
I kind of like the gold checkerboard on the edges. This is like a semi-hollow style guitar, roughly. I like the gold checkerboard over the dark wood on the sides of the guitar. And then, interestingly, from about, I want to say, the 4th fret through the D string tuner on the back of the neck headstock area is more of that gold and dark checkerboard.
Yeah.
Really interesting design decision there. I would like to see that done more on a guitar that is not this guitar, because this thing looks like a mutated dolphin.
How much was this?
$250. Like, guys, go, if you're listening to the audio podcast, go click on the links for the imager. I think we did a decent job describing the other stuff going on this week, but you really got to look at this one to understand what we're talking about, because I words fail me. Like, how do you even start to describe this?
It's bizarre.
This is the sort of thing like you would see at the county fair woodworking exhibit.
Oh, that's exactly what this is. But it's also nutty. Like, there's wires hanging out, but I only count 4. I count the 6 wires. I guess it's all on? I guess it's all on-off switches,
because it has slots for 3 pickups, which look like mini bucker size.
Yeah. Even
though the middle one is slightly bigger, but it doesn't look like humbucker size. The execution on everything just looks really rough. Really, really rough. And the body itself is a bizarre shape. Like the top horn area is a single cut sort of thing, and it starts off normal, and then at the waist it just shoots way off into this lumpy fin shape to a point where the tail strap button would be, not like a rounded point, then rounds about to what would be a normal shape for a semi-hollow lower bout where the controls would be. It's somewhat normal there. But then the bottom horn going towards the neck is this fat, sloppy dong. Butt Rock 47 says it's also the shape of a melted gummy bear. Yeah, it's totally got a melted gummy sort of thing going on. How do you, this is a semi-hollow, which means you had to cut that shape out twice for this guitar, for the top and the back. How do you cut this out once and go, you know what? I like it. I'm committed. I'm going to cut out this shape again.
That's a high level of dedication to a strange thing.
Not even to mention there's sound holes in the arm area, the armrest area, that are 3 crescent moons. Like, I think that could work on another guitar, but because this thing is so bonkers, like, it adds on more to the pile. And there's no bridge hardware on this, no tailpiece hardware on it.
It's because you need a trapeze, man.
It says it needs to be refretted.
It's begging for a Bigsby.
It doesn't have any tuners. It doesn't have a nut. This thing is a non-starter. This is not a project starter. This is done. It's definitely, yeah. Robbie H. Love says it's definitely worth $250, but he wrote it as $2.50. Yeah, for firewood, I think. You might be able to salvage the pots and the switches out of this, and that's worth about
why would you want to?
$2.50. Yes. Give me too much work. Does it jazz? Asks Sassy Cat. It probably does jazz, but in a very improvisational, experimental sort of way. All right, I say don't buy it. What do you say, Steve?
Smash it. $250.
No way.
For $250, Super Rich Steve goes there, and he intentionally misinterprets the price. Gives the guy $250,000, and then uses this guitar to smash the guy's car. And then lights the car and the guitar on fire. And the house.
I don't hold the builder responsible for this. I hold the woodshop teacher responsible. How could you let something progress this far in your class? I don't care how much your student paid you for the class. You allowed this abomination to be born into the world. And you should know better. Your student doesn't know any better, and it's your job to guide him. You failed as a teacher. So strong word. All right, tell us about the song, and then we'll do a hangout here on the live.
Yeah, this week's song is sent by Ian Ferguson. He just says, "End of show offering. Sorry, I ran out of goats."
Oh no, I don't know what that means, but I'm scared.
I think Ian's the one who sent us a song about goats last time.
Oh, okay.
Right. This is called E Effect.
E Effect. All right. Enjoy it, podcast listeners and YouTube viewers, live viewers. We're gonna hang out. All right.
Hold on, I'm listening to it.
Oh my gosh. I'm gonna drop the join link into the chat here if anyone wants to join. Apparently, StreamYard says that we can have up to 10 people in the live stream now, which is insane. If you think about it, it's too much. 6 people was too much before. Now we can do 10. Did you stop recording, Steve? Don't make your file too long. You did. You're all good.
No, I'm still listening to the song.
Oh, stop recording. Yeah, if anyone wants to hang out right now, I've put the link into the live chat comments. Here it is again. If you have a camera, and here comes RJ of Teletalks. Add to stream. Hey, RJ. If you have a camera and a mic, or even just a camera,
howdy.
You don't want to talk, join on and hang out with us and hold things up and show and tell if you want. How are you doing, RJ?
Doing okay. Doing good.
I like your audio quality.
I have no baby tonight.
No baby?
Thank you. No baby tonight. She's at grandma's. So
nice.
I don't have to work tomorrow. So I'm getting crunk.
Crunk time. Ed is here. Hey, Ed.
Hazy IPA.
How you doing, man? Did I mute it? Oh, I muted him. I didn't mean to.
Oh,
or he muted
that's
him.
just rude.
Oh, he's muted. He's just hanging out. That's fine. I'm gonna have another shot. Oh, you're drinking something. What are you drinking, RJ?
I'm drinking Harlan Brewing's Hazy IPA.
Nice.
They're in. They got a location in Scripps Ranch. They do a bunch of weird stuff sometimes. Like a couple months ago, they did a ube milkshake stout.
Oh, weird.
Yeah. So it gets a little weird for sure. But yeah, how's everyone doing? How are you liking your new Squires?
Oh yeah, you've got one too, don't you? You've got the baritone, right?
This guy right there. Yeah, we matched.
Baritone brothers.
That's right.
So Sneak peek for tomorrow. I filmed it today. I'll be publishing it tomorrow. I did a shootout between that baritone and my other baritone. I have a parts caster.
Oh, really?
Baritone. And the premise of the video is which one would I sell? I'm not going to sell one of them, but
fair enough.
That's the premise. I'm not going to spoil it right now. But I will say that Squire baritone's really good.
It's a lot of fun. I hate that it's black. It is a fingerprint magnet.
Oh, totally.
It just drives me insane.
But this is my other baritone. An all black Strat. Same problem.
Yeah, but you said you're gonna possibly refurnish the Squire?
I might refinish the Squire. I might refinish the Strat. I might do body swap on one of them. We got Harrison joining the stream. Hey, Harrison. If you're there. I'm just seeing a black screen for him now. Yeah, I might do some creative stuff with it. So my real adventure today with the baritones, though, is I decided to restring the Strat before the video because the strings were super old on it. And I ended up accidentally putting what would be the G string. I know it's not the G string. It's like the F sharp string or whatever. I accidentally put it in the place where what would be the D string. Nice. I tuned it up and I strung it up and then I started to put the other string up. I was like, oh, this one's fatter. This is a bigger string. I messed up the order here. And so I freaked out for a minute. It's like, I'm all out of luck. I completely screwed myself over. And then I realized I probably have this gauge of string somewhere. So I looked on the pack. I was like, okay, it's a 26 wound. I went and looked through a bunch of scrap strings that I had, and I had a spare 28 wound. I'm like, this is going to have to do. And so I swapped the heavier string back up to its regular slot, and I put that 28 wound on there, and yeah, it's totally fine. But for a while, I felt like I screwed myself over. Welcome to the string. Welcome to the stream, Sassy Cat. I couldn't talk for a minute.
How's everybody doing tonight?
Good. How are you doing, man?
I'm doing okay. Little gastrointestinal issues this week, but I'm back to normal now.
I had that today. I mean, this might be TMI, but I'm on diabetes medicine that gives me incredibly distressing bowel movements about 2 or 3 times a week.
Metformin.
Metformin, you know it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
It was wild today. They put me on the slow release stuff, too, and it's still like, oh, we lost RJ.
He's like, I don't want any of that business.
I'm out.
Yeah, before they put me on the slow release, the doctor called me and was like, how's the medicine going? And I was like, it's all right. And she was like, well, you know, how's like your intestinal health and stuff? I was like, and then she said something like, oh, is it you know, irritable? I was like, that's putting it politely.
How much bedding have you thrown away?
No, it's not that bad. It's not that bad, but it's like it wipes me out. It's like, wow, I just spent 20 minutes to half an hour on the toilet, and I am ready for
this. Just sounds like a fantastic weight loss program.
I wish that was true. Harrison K, you're here. He's quiet.
Here.
I can't hear him. That's, you know, whatever. He's here. I want to see if we can get it up to 10 people.
Do you want?
StreamYard says that I can do 10 people now, so we'll see if we can get up to it. Oh my gosh. Colin says, Ryan, film those bowel movements. That is a whole second thing right
if some of your regulars come in, I can bounce out. I just thought I'd hang out and see how you guys are doing.
Oh, no, that's all right. Hang out, Ed. Yeah, once like we got 6 people right now, and the signal's still good as far as audio. So that is amazing. Like usually we get to 5 or 6, and someone is having a delay or something, and things are going wild. But yeah, let's get as many people on the screen as we can. I want to max this out.
Have you used this before?
Yeah. We've been using it for a while, but they just updated it to do 10 calls at a time, which is crazy.
I was just curious. I'm an IT director where I work, and we use a variety of different things like Zoom and Teams and things like that. So I just didn't know. I hadn't seen this one before, so I was just curious about it.
It's pretty great for podcasting. I've been really happy with it. I got Fluff from Beards and Rig.
Wow, you really fumbled that one.
I really messed it up. I messed up his name. I messed up Ryan Bruce.
Rift Beards and Gear.
Rift
what you're looking.
Beards and Gear. I got him turned on to it last week, and so he's using it now, and he's really excited about it. Schizo and Stereo says once you get 9 people on, you can do the Brady Bunch intro. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I want to see. I want to see what
Here's a story of a man named Ryan.
Robert, the StreamYard, I believe now is supporting phones. Is that what
it's doing phones now too?
So you should be able to click on the link on your phone. And I don't know if it runs in browser or if you have to download a separate app. But
I didn't know it didn't run on phones before, because I could have swore maybe it was an Android or something like that. Androids can do it. I could have swore people have been using their phones to join on.
I'm using mine.
There you go. I don't know what they're talking about saying phones work now.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
See, I wonder if that would be a good workaround, because I tried to go live on my channel last week and they're like, oh yeah, by the way, you don't have enough subscribers to use your phone. So like, I'm like, oh great, I get to use my really crappy webcam on my camera or on my on my computer. Awesome.
Were you doing it through YouTube?
Yeah, just straight through YouTube.
Oh, okay.
You know what it is you can now host on a mobile device. That's what's new.
Oh, this is really riveting stuff for this guitar channel.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. Actually, I do have a question for you. What's been your favorite gain pedal to use with the baritone?
Oh man, where did it go?
It's the Plasma.
It would be fun with the Plasma, but I did the unboxing of the Add Violence from Jupiter the other day, and I used this again today for tomorrow's baritone video. This thing is just a insane monster. It doesn't sound great, in my opinion, with regular guitar. With something with a lot of low end, it just goes wild. Like, it's so thick and heavy. All right, we got 7 now.
Very cool.
Robert,
hey, how you doing?
Hey, you got it to work. There you go.
Yeah, I got it to work.
So what about you, RJ? What's your favorite drive with your baritone?
HX Stomp.
Well, no, I use the HX Stomp just in general, but no, the dynamic distortion. It wasn't my favorite till Jason Fuzzmonger sent me a video of a dude playing a baritone, and I stole that setting from that video, and I'm like, oh, this sounds pretty amazing.
Dynamic distortion, HX Stomp.
No, dynamic distortion on the by Vertex.
Oh, by Vertex.
Whatever.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
It's just an Ibanez clone.
Wait.
Yeah, it's an Ibanez super distortion.
I guess I see now how they would do 10. 2 rows of 5.
Yeah.
I understand now.
Oh.
We got a lot clear. This is stupid.
Crazy.
I'm just going to stare off at everyone.
But if we have 9, does it go on the top or on the bottom?
Probably the top.
Yeah, it'll do like 5 and 4.
Well, that's gonna
come on, number 9.
It doesn't go up six in a row, huh?
This is so stupid. Why did they give this option? Probably because what's the other? Zoom probably allows you to do 10 people for conference calls or whatever. So like we gotta do 10.
No, Zoom will let you do as many as you want.
As many as you want. You just have to pay for the privilege.
Yeah, my kid Penelope's 5th grade promotion was on Zoom. There was like 119 people on the call.
Yeah, my in-law, she does Toastmasters or whatever, and she was in the championships. And since they can't, obviously meet in person, I think there were like 500 or 600 people
Good grief.
on that Zoom.
I wish Toastmasters would all meet in person right now.
Oh my god!
I'm kidding, Toastmasters.
Damn, Steve, that's cold. I went to the to a local park with my family to have like a takeout picnic for dinner the other night, and there were people out in under the gazebo, I think having an AA meeting, and they were like totally doing like 6 feet apart. They all brought their own chairs, and we're having their little meeting. And it's like you do what you got to do, They're doing the important thing that they got to do.
Oh yeah,
We're living in a different world now. So.
I mean, my church restarted live services like a couple weeks ago, I guess, and I found out what the setup was last night, because we were talking about it, and basically, as I already knew this, as each person comes in, they have to take the person's temperature to like make sure they're not already running a fever, and ask them, go down the list of questions like, have you been out of the country? Have you shit your pants recently? Do you have a cough?
That question's always
Ryan?
And then so there's all that, right? And then the other thing that I found out that's bizarre is like the pews are all I think like as far as like vertical spacing goes, they're a little wider than normal. There's definitely fewer of them. And then there's like the center aisle is huge now.
Plastic coated.
And each row set of like 6 pews or whatever are family rows. So basically, if you are a person who comes to our church and it's just you get an entire row to yourself.
It's kind of like jury.
Like, it's just, here you go. Personal deal here.
Yeah,
Awkward.
I might go play at church again. I got sent an invite to be on the schedule, but we'll have to, because they do it on Thursday night, Steve. We'll have to figure out if we can work around that. But I played.
Yeah, we can work around it.
I played a week ago or something like that, and it was fun. But it's like they shoot in the church office. They film it, and it's kind of like the youth building, like they do, like youth stuff there during the week, like Awanas and whatnot. And so they had everyone there involved with the crew and the band. And then as the pastor was giving his message, it's the crew and the band as the full audience. And they're like, if you guys want to like really make a lot of noise, like laugh if you think something's funny. But none of us laugh. Funny. But it was very weird to watch a church service with like 4 people in the audience, But it was fun to play. I only got to play 2 songs, but it was fun to go and actually get to use my rig again. And
did you have to wear a mask?
We wore masks when we weren't playing, but we were all basically 6 feet away from each other on stage. Fine.
I'm shoved in a corner. It's kind of, and I'm shoved in a corner on the opposite side of the stage from where I'm usually at, like, because I'm in the spot where the guitar stuff is set up. And when I got to
nobody put Steve in the corner.
When I got to rehearsal yesterday, I had to like unplug a Helix whole thing going. Brian from the Tone Jerks, RJ said that he's busy tonight and that you would tell us why.
Because he is. I don't
Okay.
know him. I don't know why.
Oh, maybe I just.
They'll never join us.
Never mind.
I will say this. On my podcast next week, we did have the Tone Jerks, both of them, for episode 69.
Nice.
And I don't remember any of it. Yeah, so I don't remember any of that. I drank way too much that episode to where I couldn't record the second episode.
How is that different than most of your episodes?
Because I can usually make it through the second episode. Like I literally couldn't walk after that. That's how bad it was. I had to crawl to the couch. You know, so it was kind of like you almost during episode 200, Steve. Like that, like that. No, remember at where did we go for episode 200? Where did you guys have that?
Yeah, no, it was the Tiger
where they messed up my card.
Oh yeah,
and you got
right.
Yeah,
they charged everyone's drinks to your card, like $500 of drinks.
Yeah, they totally messed it up.
Yeah.
We didn't tell them to do that.
Yeah. We definitely didn't say, just put it on RJ's card. Put it all on RJ's card.
You're a very generous guy.
That guy over there, he's buying it.
Yeah. It was quite unfortunate. I was like, they spent all my money. I don't know how I'm going to get home. I planned on Ubering.
Did you realize it the same night, or did you realize it when your bill came?
So basically what happens is I go to the bar to like check out, like get my tab, like pay my tab. And she goes, is this your, and she hands me the card. I'm like, this is not my card. And she's like, you're Robert Smith. And I'm like, yeah, but that's not my card. She goes, oh. And so basically what ended up happening is she charged my card because this guy was like, oh yeah, I'm buying drinks for everybody. And he like bought drinks for a bunch of people in the bar.
How come he wasn't outside with us?
I have no idea. He was just there.
Robert Smith. I want to hang out with that guy.
Right. Anyway, so you know,
got the wrong Robert Smith in our group.
Dang.
$400 worth. Yeah, about $400 later, the guy, he's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go, and he was obviously, you know, really drunk, so he didn't, I guess, notice that he took my card, and like left a fat tip and everything, and yeah, that's what happened that night.
Did you get it taken care of? Did you have to? What happened?
Oh yeah, no. So like I basically had to obviously cancel my car. I should have, right?
You're like, this
went
guy
in the back and did the dishes.
Like, this guy's got money. He's ready to throw it around, so you probably won't notice for a couple of days. 2, he's got the same name as you, the same name that's on your ID. 3, go have fun.
Oh yeah.
No, actually, you know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, he didn't have the same last name as me. And I was like, you didn't think to ask for the person's last name?
Oh, did you
like
with
a
Robert?
name like Robert? Yeah, you didn't think like, oh, Robert what?
Have you ever thought about changing your name?
Yeah. So
first, my new legal name is Telly. My new legal last name is Fox.
So I was really bummed out because I had been drinking that day, and like everyone was like, "Yeah, we're gonna go get burritos." I'm like, "Yeah." Oh,
you didn't have the card. Well, you could have told him. Well, did we know you well enough? I mean, I want to say you could have told any of us, and we would have comped you, but maybe we didn't know you well enough back then. That was 2 years ago.
I think the only one who probably would have caught me is Leon, but I think it was also because he was kind of drunk.
I would have bought you a burrito if I'd known. I don't think I knew.
Yeah, they.
I would have put it on the inner circle, but I would have done it.
Yeah. So yeah, that was a lot of fun. My first experience with meeting everybody in person. And
Ryan,
is
the shirt you were talking about, is it a different shirt than the regular just gray and yellow logo?
Well, it's that, or if you want a different shirt, you can pick one from the Teespring shop.
Oh no, I was gonna say I already have that shirt. You gave me one a couple years ago, so I was gonna say if it was just that shirt, then I'm fine.
I'll send you.
I didn't know if it was a special like bragging rights shirt or something.
The
That would
tuner
actually be a
time.
good idea. If I should put the inner circle design on there and make it a secret option somehow. I don't know if I can do that through Teespring. I'll try to figure it out. Make an inner circle design shirt to send out to people. Or I could send you the tuna time shirt.
Yeah, there's a tuna.
That's a good shirt.
Grant just got a 50-50. Send him the 50-50 shirt.
I like it.
Where'd you get a 50-50 from, Grant? Who was selling
Fantastic. Can't remember his name right now. I'm such a jerk. Alex something, I think.
that? Okay, well, we'll track him down and send him hate mail for selling it.
Yeah.
Which model did you get? The first run or the second run? Or the second art?
Orange
one. Wow.
Yeah.
I could figure out whose that is, but I don't.
I missed mine. I missed mine.
You sold it. We haven't done new runs in a while. We had a new design that we were working on with Leon, and I think he got busy and doing other stuff, and we haven't.
Unfortunately, I got laid off, so I had to sell everything.
You got laid off?
Oh, wow.
Was this recently, or when you sold the 50-50?
When I sold the 50-50, I got laid off.
Okay, so you have a job now.
No, yeah, no, I work
okay.
at HP. I'm good.
Yeah. I just want to make sure.
For now.
I'm still working during this, time of crisis.
Yeah.
I'm essential.
Doing essential work
Thank you
over
very
Hewlett
much.
Packard.
What just happened there? We lost
Yeah.
someone.
Say Hewlett
It's
Schlackard.
essential. I literally had somebody. I had to deal with this whole thing today because somebody called out with a fever that I came in contact with yesterday. So that's going to be fun.
Oh no.
I honestly know the guy, and he's the kind of guy who likes to call out for anything. And because it's an extra long weekend, because we get tomorrow off, I think he just wanted a 4-day weekend, but it caused a lot of thrash. So now we're doing contact tracing at work, and I'm having to work with all the project managers, and I'm on these meetings with site managers and stuff. What do we do?
Now's not the time to call in sick just because you want to day off. Don't stick around with that. Don't scare people. Just say I want the day off.
Yeah, and I think the reason why he's full of shit is because in his email, if you read it, it's oh yeah, I got a fever, but I'm fine. I'll be back Monday. Oh, you're so conveniently gonna get over your fever by Monday.
You'll be in your
calendar.
It's on my calendar. I'm gonna be fine. I would. Well, here's what's gonna happen. Monday's gonna roll around, and someone's gonna write. A family member is gonna write you. And he's he's dead. He died. You're gonna feel awful.
I don't think so.
One time I learned when I used to work in an office. One time I learned my lesson about calling in sick because a friend was like, "Hey, let's go snowboarding." I'm like, "That's a great idea. I'll just call in sick." So I call in sick, go snowboarding for a day. It wasn't a Friday. It was like a Wednesday or something. Next day, I'm like, "Oh, I'll go back to work." I get home from snowboarding. I look in the mirror and I've got ski goggle tan.
Oh.
Nice.
I'm well, I screwed myself over here.
The other thing is, don't post pictures of your fun days when you're supposed to be sick.
What's that?
Don't post fun days of your pictures when you're supposed to be sick.
Well, this was before social media. This was 13 years ago or something like that before I had it.
If you don't post, isn't it more realistic that you're just still sick for more than one day?
Exactly.
Sick for 3 days.
Yeah.
My boss would always give me grief because he'd be like, "Oh yeah, I know your thing. You call in sick at before everyone's in the office." I'm like, "Yeah, because that's when I wake up."
Yeah, exactly.
You really want me to wait? I'm gonna wake up. I'm like, "Oh crap, I feel like garbage." I'm gonna call you, leave a message, and then I'm gonna go back to bed, and I'm not gonna wake up till 10 or 11. That's what I do. When I'm sick. You think you want me to wake up at 8:30 in the morning again after I already woke up at 5 to tell you that I'm sick? I'm sorry, I'm staying asleep on my sick day. So I don't know. Bosses suck. I hate bosses.
Yeah,
That's why you work for yourself now, right?
Exactly. Now I'm self-employed and I don't have any sick days.
Yeah.
I'm the boss.
You don't have any sleep or any free time either.
Exactly. And I don't even have Saturdays off anymore because I'm the boss and bosses are assholes.
That's right. I could just see you like doing like an office space moment with yourself. So I'm gonna need you to come in this Saturday. That'd be great.
Oh yeah.
I literally I took my gloves off just like 2 minutes ago because that's what I was building pedals while I was watching. It's what is it like after midnight? There's no who takes breaks.
Who takes breaks? Yeah. Man. Yeah, it's a grind over here. Thursdays are kind of rough for me, podcast day, because I work a full day. I know Steve does too. It's like I'm doing podcast stuff all day and video editing all day. Here again.
Well, one of the comments says Ed's audio is not on, and then one of them says, "What would Ed say?" And I would say, I lived through that office space era in Dallas, so all that stuff you see in that movie is real.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Office Space is too real.
And I actually have a red stapler on my desk.
Nice.
The scene with the copy machine smashing it up in the field, like I feel that.
Is it true? Does anybody know that they actually didn't make a red stapler prior to that? Is that a true story?
I don't know anything about
that's
that.
What that's
you talking about the Slimline stapler?
Yeah.
Supposedly they actually had to powder coat one for the movie, and after that movie, it became so popular that they released it in their line because everybody wanted a red stapler.
Yeah, I've heard that.
That's pretty amazing.
Of course, it became a thing because everyone in an office who works in a cubicle farm is so bored they're looking for any little sliver of humor, and they're like, "Guys, I got the red stapler." We all got a red stapler. Don't freak out about it. Like we all saw the movie. Don't worry.
if you take my stapler again, I'm gonna burn this place down.
Bring this to the ground. Brilliant movie. Brilliant movie.
When RJ was talking earlier about the whole, coworker that may be sick, that may have COVID-19, it reminded me of kind of a situation I'm dealing with right now where I have my throat has been hurting me, but I haven't been within 6 feet of anyone in 114 days, except for on Monday. I went to go to the mail person was bringing the mail, and I went to take some boxes out, and I would drop them on the street and let them get the boxes and then walk away. Well, as this happened, my neighbor's dog got loose and chased the mail lady, and she came running to me for protection. And she came running right beside me, and I swear she was 3 inches from me, and she was yelling "Oh my god!" And I'm I'm freaking out inside, social distancing, get the folks, please stay away from me. But I'm trying not to be mean or rude or make her feel uncomfortable because she just got chased by a dog across the road, and now I've been freaking out because my throat hurts, and so I'm kind of in the same boat as you, RJ. It kind of sucks.
Was she wearing a mask?
No, the mail person was not wearing a mask.
Yeah, was she wearing a mask?
No.
Oh, shit.
Oh. See? And she ran right beside me. Her head was right there. It was ugh.
I had the same thing happen except opposite, where a dude's dog got loose and he was chasing the dog, and the dog came to me to play with me, and he had to come grab the dog and just spit all up in my face. But nothing happened.
Right. Okay. You're still
I think it's just lucky. It'll be okay.
It's probably just all in my head. My throat probably is fine.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, here's the thing.
So
if
this
you
is
do get sick, you know exactly where it came from. Single point of contamination.
And since it's a postal worker, then you can sue the U.S. government for millions of dollars.
I'm surprised it's not mandatory for them to wear masks.
It is.
Well, it depends on where you're at, because you're in Nashville, right?
Yeah, I live in Tennessee. They don't care about anything.
Yeah,
I was gonna say they don't give a shit. My co-host
by federal law, actually by UN law as well, are required to wear masks, but they're like Zorro masks, and they have to have swords too.
Oh my gosh!
So my co-host on my podcast, he actually got a confirmed case of COVID. He delivers beer.
A whole case of it, huh?
Huh?
A whole case of COVID.
Yeah, a whole case. He actually got it from like some like shitty liquor store. He was out for like 3 weeks. No joke.
Was trying to get Mickey's and he got COVID instead.
Exactly.
Come on down to Shitty's liquor store.
Yeah.
You guys know the little poppers? They're like little pieces of paper wrapped around rocks and like gunpowder. They're like the
You just throw them on the ground and
you
pop.
can get in Southern California. When I was a kid, all my friends would have those. Where do you get those? I want to buy those. And like, oh, they're like 50 cents a box at the liquor store. And that just freaked me right out. Like, you went in a liquor store? You're a child. We're children. I can't go in a liquor store. What are you talking about? But now I realize like most liquor stores are just like little mini marts. So it's really not a big deal. Like go in there, buy bubble gum, buy some poppers, you're going to be fine. But man,
that depends on, the part of the country they're in. In SoCal, that is the case. But in like the South, liquor stores are liquor stores, and you cannot go in there without adult supervision.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you can go to
Can confirm.
Yeah.
Can confirm.
buy Pringles and Mountain Dew and stuff. They're basically like 7-Eleven
No.
a lot of the time.
No, and you cannot buy any kind of liquor like at like Walmart. You can't go to Walmart and be like, "Oh, I want to get a bottle of Jack." Also, I judge you if you drink Jack.
What good are the guns you buy there if you can't like chase them with liquor?
Now, if I may,
Mm-hmm.
when I lived in Florida, they had a liquor store that was built right on the end of the Walmart. Go right out of the Walmart into the liquor store, buy your liquor, leave out through the liquor store door.
If it wasn't a creative name like Booze Mart or something, then they really missed an opportunity.
Yeah, well, it was like I said, it was built right on the end of the Walmart. Shoot, Walgreens had them, Publix had them, Winn-Dixie had them. So
I've been
they were just built on the end of the store. So
right, like a little extra store there. My mind's been blown by because everything has gone to takeout and pick up with COVID and everything like that. I'll go and do drive-through, picking up burritos and tacos and stuff like that. And the drive-through window is like, oh, don't worry, you can do takeout cervezas and beers and like margaritas and stuff. Like, you mean like, are you gonna order it for me? Like, how are you gonna give me a margarita? What are you talking about? What is going on? And like, I can still go to the regular grocery store. How much does it cost? Does it cost like grocery store prices, or are you going to charge me restaurant prices? Because I'm not going to pay restaurant prices to take booze home. Like, what are you doing right now? So I guess I'm not an alcoholic enough to understand that mentality of like, oh yeah, I'll buy booze from the drive-thru.
You're supporting your local economy.
Indeed.
I was going to say the liquor store here in town has got a drive-through.
But that's different because you're buying closed stuff. If you get something from a restaurant, how do you get a margarita from a Mexican restaurant in the drive-thru?
So real quick, in Texas, they
Like this.
there was this alcoholic slushy.
In a styrofoam cup with a straw? You're not supposed to drive with an open container.
So in Texas, they had this alcoholic slushy place, and they would literally put it in just like a vacuum sealed bag. That like, you know how like if you can go, I think
You mean like
Popeyes does
Canadian
it.
milk?
No, like so like Popeyes, you know how you can get like a thing of sweet tea and it's like in this like bag, or like Sonic does it. It's like a big old bag. They put it in that.
Oh, weird.
And then but it's got a seal to where like you can't, like if you crack it, it has like the kind of like a bottle of water has like the little ring, if you crack it, it breaks the seal.
Oh, okay.
no longer being or no longer being concealed or whatever.
So it's legal if you don't crack it.
When I lived in
So it's
Louisiana,
like you just can't crack it.
we had daiquiri factories. You could just drive through and get whatever mixed drink you want. It came out in a foam cup, a little sealed cap, and just the way it was.
You've all heard of that Instacart, right? Or that for that grocery shopping, things like that. We're doing that here in Southern California, also not too far from where Ryan and Steve are. But I've actually had beer put on them. They've actually bought it, brought it to the house, but not a single person ever carded me.
Wow.
You look pretty young. I mean, you could pass for 19.
I don't have to worry about being carded, but it's just the whole fact. What if I was only
right?
So, and the shopper is over 21. They buy the beer, they bring it over to the house. It could have contributed to the delinquence of some minors.
Heaven forbid. But like, you think an Uber driver is going to show up and be like, "Oh, how old are you guys?" Like, if a bunch of like 18 dudes, like,
they just drop it at the front door anyway.
Yeah, because they have to drop it off the front door. They can't contact you. It's contactless delivery, so they can't.
So that's interesting because if you get alcohol through postal, through a postal service, you have to sign for it. Like, you can't, like, that's the whole thing with shipping beer through like U.S. mail is like U.S. mail. You're just not supposed to do it because they don't want to deal with like having to collect the signatures, I guess, or the liability. But if you ship alcohol through any other service, they're supposed to not necessarily card you, but it's supposed to be like you're an obvious. So if you're a 20-year-old, I guess, and you look like you're 21, then they'll just let you sign for it. But on the flip side, if you are a 21-year-old who looks like you're 15, then they're going to be like, "Oh, sir, can you go get your parents?"
Yeah.
So since COVID, I'm in Northern California, and all the restaurants started adding alcohol to, like DoorDash, because they're trying to make money, and they don't care at all. Like, we just ordered like salads and paninis, and because it was the peak of COVID and we didn't want to go to the store, we just got a couple bottles of wine as well. Nobody carded or even cared at all. That's just like, tax it, it's at your door, that's it. So it doesn't matter what age.
I guess they figure if you got a credit card, you're probably over 21, right?
When we get to the end of this thing, if they'll just be like, all those laws we used to care about, and we kind of just flip. Like, who cares now? Like, this over. Like, yeah, teenagers can drink now. It's not a big deal. Like, just
you can buy it online. Any age. It's just.
Yeah. Didn't you all hear that there's a new case of swine flu happening as well currently?
I did hear about that. Yeah.
So
bacon.
Keep rolling with
guess
it.
Where they say it's coming from?
China.
Yep.
Things are going to just get really loose then. Like, I've already, I've been sending a friend to the post office to go to my PO box because I'm just not going there at all, and they will give him boxes for me from my PO box, and they didn't ask him for an ID or anything. Just maybe they just assumed he had the key, but they always ask me for the ID anytime I ever went, ever. But now apparently they're just like, here, take it. And they have like, I haven't been in the post office, but apparently they have plastic behind or in front of everything. And, so.
I personally like how grocery stores are now. I hope they never go back. I like someone at the front door like, "Oh, we got 50 people in there. We can't let any more people in." I'm like, "Oh, cool. Yeah. I want to shop in the empty grocery. Yeah, I'll wait outside. Cool. That'll be a better experience for me." Like, "Oh, yeah, everyone has to stand 6 feet apart and have an orderly line."
It's not bad. Are they wiping off your handles?
You can park in public now and not offend anybody.
It's great. All the shopping carts are clean because someone's cleaning them all and putting them in a clean row and stuff like that. They've got baggers bagging the groceries again, and
you don't have to
not charging you for the bag.
Yeah, and they're not charging.
Oh yeah, I didn't realize that. You're right.
All the little laws that are inconsequential are out the window. They're like, "Oh, we don't care about that stuff anymore." Yeah,
Yeah, I have some. I actually just threw I don't even know how many bags in the recycle bin this week because of the whole because I forget, and then on top of forgetting all the time, now they're like, well, you're not even allowed to bring your own bags, which I mean, you could just leave them in your car and put everything back in your cart without bagging it, but so I don't know. I must have put 20 or 30 bags out just to the recycle bin. And I still have 10 or 15 bags underneath my sink.
We save most of them. You find useful uses for them. You throw kids' dirty clothes in them and stuff, and
throw kids in them. Just throw kids. Just use them to throw kids.
Yeah, you line trash cans and stuff.
Like bathroom trash cans and stuff like that.
Just put it
on. I love shopping at Bevmo these days. Like where you just order it online. I order online and then I just walk up, show them my ID. They give me my order. I'm on my way. I love it.
How do you feel about Bev Less?
Here's the thing that I wish. When you order something online and you can sit there and track it, and you're like, okay, it just arrived in my city, and now it's sitting in a warehouse in my city, but I need this right now to do work or whatever. I wish you could send a notification to them and be like, don't put it on a truck.
I'm coming.
Leave it there.
Sometimes you can do that.
I haven't seen it for it, but if you can do it, that's amazing.
So FedEx offers that.
There you go.
I think UPS does too.
You can have it dropped off at one of their centers, like a post annex or anything that's authorized to ship FedEx and UPS. You can have it delivered there, and sometimes it's a little bit quicker to just go get it there.
Because I know the way that stuff gets delivered in my neighborhood, it's always at the end of the day, but I know it goes on the truck in the morning.
Yeah.
And I see the day before, it's in town now. If I could just send them a notice, if you could hold it in the warehouse, and I'll drive 45 minutes to come pick up this thing that I need in the morning to pick it up, rather than wait for it to show up. And maybe you guys can knock $1 off the shipping or whatever. I don't know, but it all evens out because you did an extra service putting it aside for me. But I mean, it would be great.
I don't see them doing any more breaks, because I just saw an Amazon driver today in a U-Haul truck.
Wow. Yeah.
Whoa.
That happens around here. We'll see. There will be freelance drivers for Amazon or whatever. They're just driving around their sedans, they're unmarked cars.
Then maybe that's the new kind of job that they're doing. I mean, they're picking that up. They got to pick up other people. I know that I've seen other people in their own personal cars and stuff. Why not do a U-Haul truck?
So they don't use the light blue standard truck with the smiley face?
No, it was standard U-Haul truck. Rent this for $19.95.
I see a lot of that
they do Hertz
during the holidays, but not so much during regular times of the year.
They do Hertz around here. I see a lot of Hertz vans.
Have you ever seen them do a donut in one of those Hertz vans? Do a Hertz donut?
Wow.
No, but I've seen the ones where they do the capturing of guys in there. They set up a little prank where people are walking by. They go, nobody's there. They jump up in the truck. Somebody comes in behind, shuts the thing behind them, and then they take them on a ride.
Yikes.
Yeah, that's all over YouTube, those prank shows. They got a camera mounted in the back where the guy's flying around all over the place.
There would have to be I would assume that's some sort of assault, right?
I was gonna say that's
if kidnapping, attempted robbery, at first, how's it balance out?
I haven't seen those ones. It sounds made up. It sounds like something that's
fake. Very well could be, but it still looks pretty fun when they're going around, guys flying all over the backside of it. It might be a friend of theirs that are getting in there.
Right. It sounds
I'm pretty sure everything on YouTube is real. Right.
It sounds like a jackass.
Yeah.
Yes, it sounds very jackass.
Like those exploding bicycle seats, when they're tethered.
I think those the like the bicycle theft prank videos. Because I've seen those. I think those are all faked because it'd be a lawsuit waiting to happen. You have to have a buddy in on it to do that sort of stuff. My son watches kids YouTube, and he watches like all these Minecraft videos and stuff. And there's this channel he watches that's so annoying, but I've used it as an opportunity to teach him lessons about the world and about advertising and marketing. Because the guy that runs the channel is like just always trying to sell.
Is this that Bloopy guy or whatever?
No, it's not Bloopy, but it might as well be. It's always trying to sell his merch and trying to sell, like download packs or whatever. And every time that starts to happen, and my son's watching, I'm like, you see what he's trying to do right now? He's trying to get you to buy stuff. And he's like, oh yeah, I guess he's trying to sell stuff to me. And I just kind of use it as a lesson to show him like how the world works. And then I'm like,
trying to make a living.
And I'm like,
how to make a living on YouTube, right, Ryan?
And I'm like, do you know why I know he's trying to sell you stuff right now? And my son's like, why? I'm like, because that's what I do for a job.
I have to say, I really did enjoy your video with Andy.
Oh yeah, that video with Andy was a lot of fun, and we filmed that I want to say a month ago. So I've just been waiting for it to come out, but he did interviews with Robert Chapman and stuff like that. So I guess those were more important.
I'm going to assume, though, if it's YouTube related, he's probably making more money than any guitarist on YouTube.
Oh, no, whoever this Minecraft kid is making bank. He's making so much money.
They make hundreds of thousands of dollars. So.
Oh, he's rich. You can tell that he's rich because you can tell they've turned like a mini mansion into a studio compound, and he's got employees and stuff like that. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I watch his channel. I'm doing the wrong stuff.
Everyone's probably see me fidgeting with my glasses. I think my daughter completely bent them. And so they look crooked on my face, and it's kind of pissing me off. So I'm trying to
put them on. Put them on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they look fun.
Looks all right.
But something I realized when I had my son at first is I used to always wear my sunglasses on my shirt. Mm-hmm. That's over. The moment you're a dad, it's all over.
Oh, she just straight up grabs them off my face. She's like, "Oh, these are mine now. I'm gonna play with these." And then I got prior hands off of them.
I was never a glasses on the head guy. I always thought that was dumb.
See, don't they look crooked now?
Look, on your head like this?
Yeah, when you put them up on the top, but that's all I can do now because my kids will just grab them off my shirt.
Yeah, but you're tall too, right? So how many pairs of glasses have you destroyed because you hit your head on something? You go and right? I've done that 6.
I have not had that problem. I'm pretty aware of not hitting my head into things.
I'm not.
I'm terrible. I'm terrible around ceiling fans though. In the house my wife and I rented when we first got married, there was a ceiling fan over the bed in the master bedroom, and I would get out of bed in the morning and I'd be like, oh,
I do it every day.
Do a big dumb yawn.
And hope it's not on high speed.
Yeah, and there was one in the kitchen, I think, and people would come in the front door for a party, and I'd see them come in, and I'm like, "Hey!" and do a big wave. My hand caught in the fan as someone's walking in the door. It's all
good comic relief for them to.
Yeah.
Best YouTube video I saw, the little pull chain or whatever, and the cat's trying to swipe at it and get it. He finally grabs a hold of it, and then the fan is just.
Okay.
That's a really old one. That's called Cat Fan.
Cat Fan. Mm. One of my favorite old videos on the internet that every time I see it, no matter what mood I'm in, it cheers me up, is the video of the flying lawnmower. Have you guys seen that? There's just something. It's like someone made a RC plane that looks like a lawnmower, and every time I see that video, I laugh. I legitimately laugh because it's just this lawnmower it's on the grass and it's going, and then all of a sudden it takes off, flying around the air. Like thinking about it right now, I'm happy. And there's just something about it that's so hilarious to me. Like if we do like hologram gravestones someday, like I want that to be the image that plays over and over again. It's the flying lawnmower on my grave.
Cat fan videos, an old one like that, and then they also have the Numa guy. Remember that old video?
Numa, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Numa.
Yeah. Getting a drink. Be right back.
Hey, Sassy Cat.
Yeah.
Do you know the population of every state?
No.
Okay, because the other day you dropped some populations on me, and I was surprised as shit that you were like, you knew New York and Minnesota, I think, or Missouri right off the top of your head.
Oh, well, that was just because those numbers were, I think, in the paper because of the COVID or something.
Okay. I was like, this guy is good. Damn.
Yeah. No, it's
He's a fast Googler.
The New York Times has got like the coronavirus numbers every day that you can go in and check. And so it's always like, 41 million people live in New York or whatever, or 23 million live in Florida.
Yeah.
All that. So
it's fresh in your mind.
Yeah, exactly. I think I've gotten to that point in my life now where it's like when you open up the newspaper and the first thing you go to is the obituaries because you want to see if anybody you know has died. And so it's like this odd thing. It's like, well, let me check the numbers today. Let's see how many people have died of the COVID or whatever. It's just strange, morbid fascination.
Sure. My dad tracks it really close, but he thinks that it's over now. So it's like he has the theory that the virus is mutated and everyone who gets it is going to be fine now. So I hope he's right. I mean, I really do, but I don't think he is. I don't think he's right. I think.
Anybody here had pneumonia?
I have not, but my wife did, and it took her out for a long time. So,
yeah, that's the thing about the corona that scares me, because I've had pneumonia twice, and so they say that pretty good immunocompromised. So you better watch out. You better watch out. And I'm like, yeah.
I mean, like people who aren't worried about it are like, oh, it's only for it's only bad for people who are already immune compromised. Like that means a lot of stuff. That's not just people who are super duper sick. That could be me. I've got a little bit of diabetes. It could be me. I don't know.
Exactly. Exactly. It's scary stuff.
RJ's back.
Yeah.
There he is.
You just want to be underneath me. You want to be down there.
To me, it's the same thing. It's like, I don't even want a normal flu. It's not because I think I'm going to die. I want the flu because it's not
who wants to be sick for any period of time, let alone a month?
Even if it's not going to kill me, it doesn't mean I want to get it anyway.
Yeah.
Someone on my Facebook feed was like, "Ah, man, I got it. The top layer of my tongue died and fell off."
What?
I don't know about that, but I do know loss of taste is actually a symptom.
Yeah. So maybe that's the thing. Maybe like all the cells on the top of your tongue like die and just peel away or something like that.
If you're
maybe being dramatic. I don't know.
Like a lot of cold medicine has zinc in it, and that can also kill your taste buds.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
So I was born without a sense of smell, and it's called anosmia, which sounds like a made-up word. And so people oftentimes think I'm making this up, but I legitimately can't smell anything. I've never been able to smell anything. And so because of that, I don't have much taste either. I have sweet, sour, salt, and bitter. And it's very subtle. And so that's why I was worried about my throat hurting, because I was like, I don't know if I did lose my sense of smell. I never had one to begin with. I wouldn't know, you know?
Right. Have you ever thought? I mean, it would be rough on your wife. Have you ever thought about keeping a skunk as a pet?
Keeping a skunk. They descent them, right? You can do that.
But for you, it doesn't matter. You would never know.
No,
That's the weapon of
I don't
deterrence.
really go out or do anything anyway. So,
You ever worry about if you're like a smelly guy and you just don't know? Like,
oh yeah. Whenever I was a kid, we had dogs that would piss on everything. One of the dogs actually would wear babies' onesies because he just had a male dominance issue. He wanted to piss on everything because we had 3 dogs and he wanted to, mark his territory everywhere. So my stepmom would take babies' onesies, cut a hole for his tail, and then sew a washcloth in the bottom of it. So he would just piss and he would lift his leg and piss in the onesie, and then she would change them and wash them. And he had like 20, 30 different outfits that he would wear and rotate. But sometimes, piss would get out and other dogs would piss. And I was lazy. So I would do my laundry and I would leave my laundry in the clothes basket and I wouldn't ever put it away. And then the problem was they'd come in and pee on my clothes and I wouldn't know it. And they would dry and I'd put on a shirt and I'd go to school and I'd be in homeroom and someone would be like, dude, you need to go home, bro.
Wow.
Oh, that sucks.
And I just would never know. So
right.
Happened several times. I would start literally asking my family to smell my clothing. Like, here, would you smell this? Like before I put it on.
I had the fear when I was a teenager, the social anxieties and stuff like that. Like I was like I was like a smelly kid and I just didn't know it because you can't smell yourself. And so you're like, you're a kid, you put on
bad enough you can.
You're a smelly adult. What are you talking about? Somebody asked so we do these topics right on the Facebook group, and somebody's topic was so Steve's a scientist. Did he invent coronavirus to force the podcast to go to live stream because Ryan smells bad?
So you get to stay home now. Oh, we lost somebody. Ed.
No. Oh, it's Ed.
Yeah.
Hi, Ed.
Ed.
Maybe he'll be back. I don't know. Oh, he's back.
Hi, Ed. And here he is.
Did you grow this in the lab?
No, we don't even do that where I work.
Steve's not that talented.
That's true.
Me and Steve, our entire daily conversation revolves around work, so I'm pretty tuned into what he actually does, and it's a whole lot of nothing, if you ask me.
Wow.
Yeah,
Steve was responsible for a pandemic. It'd kill a lot more people. It'd be a lot better. I'm just saying, it'd be a good pandemic.
Yeah, no, because that's 90% of Steve and I's conversation. What are you doing? At work.
Yeah, just growing.
That's everybody's job, man.
I know, but then it follows a pattern. What you doing at work? Yeah, I'm about to go to work. What's your next meal? And then we talk about literally the next meal that we're gonna eat.
Man, I'm hungry.
I'm talking to Steve about it. Is that basically Steve has fridges full of protein cultures that he just has to check on all day. Make sure they grow right.
So that this actually happened to me.
It's kind of like you're in charge of freezing popsicles is the way I imagine it.
Yeah, basically. So on Monday, we had a process just finish, go all the way through, and so I had to do. Well, we were supposed to, but I'm basically the person who knows how to do it. Put all of this into glass vials and bags and all this different stuff to do a bunch of different testing, and so literally that morning I sent an email out to our quality control department because usually they are the ones who put everything together for shipping and whatever. They assist with shipping. And I put it all together and I send it to them. Oh, Ed says he's in East Texas, not Utah. They email me back. Oh, our freezers are all full. We can't accommodate your sampling. And I'm just like, how is this and this is now my problem. This is my problem, guys. Freezer space.
Freezer space.
So what? They want you to go down to Costco and buy another freezer and put
well, so that's my thing, right?
Is
Is like literally this department's job is to make sure that the samples are all stored properly for however long they need to be stored, whether they're going to be shipped out or whatever. So my thing is just like, if your freezers are full, just buy another one.
Yeah, go buy more stuff.
They are specialty freezers. They're not cheap, but still, like, come on now.
That's okay. I have to deal with FedEx on a daily basis because HP contracts like literally everything out, and so all of our shipping and storage is through FedEx. And I don't know how many times they're like, "Oh, we don't have space for that." I'm like, "Well, make space. That's your job."
Yeah,
like organize. Like, come on. Like, do you mind like just holding it in your area? I'm like, that's no.
Yeah.
No.
All I'm hearing is, other people aren't doing their jobs. It's not on you to do everybody else's job.
I mean, that's how I feel about it. But
yeah. It's like, well, I'm giving this to you. You should do what your job is to do from here on out.
Oh, yeah. No, earlier this week, I was like, oh, yeah, so I need to ship something out to Puerto Rico and Barcelona. That needs to go to Barcelona. That needs to go to Puerto Rico. And they're like, can you come separate it? I was like, no, I told you what needs to be separated. Put one on one pallet, put one on the other, and ship it.
No, can you do it? Can you just do it?
And guess what? I did. I had to because it was that urgent. I had to.
You did it because you're a bitch.
I am a bitch. No, I had to get these because international shipping at the company stops at 10:30. So like if I don't get it done before 10:30 in the morning, it doesn't ship to the next day.
There needs to be a position at every company, and it needs like a universal title, like the doer or something like that. It's just some guy, some employee that will do anything that other people don't know how to or don't want to do. It's like, I don't know how to ship these two things. Let's get the doer. The doer will figure it out.
No, that title exists.
The fixer. That's the term they use.
That title exists. It's Captain Save-A-Ho.
Captain Save-A-Ho?
When I worked at Amazon, those were called the team leaders.
Team leader.
The team leader. He did all that stuff. There was actually one guy whose whole job was to make sure that, because in the fulfillment center, everything gets picked, everything gets put in a big tote that goes down the conveyor belt. Well, occasionally the totes turn sideways and you get a pileup. And his job is to go around and to unjam and make sure that the totes are going along the conveyor belt to where they're supposed to go.
That's wild.
All day long. And getting like $14, $15 an hour.
We had somebody like that. It was just called an office manager,
Well, like when I worked in a grocery store, there was just like a perpetual like collection of stuff in a big box that like no one knew what to do with because it was outside of the system.
Right.
Like you can't scan it. No one knows where this product came from. Someone returned it and it was never here. Or like there was when I worked in the grocery store, it was right around the time when the Star Wars prequels came out. And we had this gigantic promotional Darth Maul.
Nice.
And we were supposed to give it away as a contest. And no one ever figured out the winner. And so this thing just lived in like the in the rafters above like the ice cream cooler. But like there should have been someone in the company, in the management or whoever who just had the power to make decisions for this stuff, and like, oh, we've got a giant box full of trash that we can't do anything with because it's not in the system and we don't have any sort of official process for getting rid of things that we can't track. Let's just throw it away. I'll make the executive decision and it'll be my thing. Oh, we've got a Darth Maul in the attic. Let's give it away to the first like kid that comes in that looks like he could that would brighten his day. Like, hey, congratulations, kid. Here's a Darth Maul. It's 6 foot tall. So take this home with you.
Carolyn.
But
Like
that's
someone just make dumb decisions like that because everyone else is like everyone that was a clerk like me is like, oh, I don't have the authority to make decisions to throw away stuff or give things away to clear this area, and the management's just like, oh, I don't know, I don't care. Like there's someone who has to. Really, it's just the management's fault. The management should have been doing their job.
That's the funny thing about very corporate jobs. If anything falls through the cracks, it just sits there for generations.
Right. If there's not a job description to handle
it, yeah,
a particular thing, it'll just sit there and everyone will be like, if I do that, I'll get in trouble, I think. I don't
Eventually, it'll just be like the Darth Maul break room. It just sits there.
Exactly. Darth Maul's everywhere.
Darth Maul is watching you eat.
I should have just stolen that thing. No one would have cared or noticed or known. I should have taken it on my last day and be like, I'm liberating you, Darth Maul.
Well, it's probably still there. Go get it.
It's definitely still there. It's totally
no, because that grocery store got turned into a Smart and Final. It was in Albertsons, now it's a Smart and Final. They completely redid it, so it's not there.
Is that the one in Mira Mesa?
Well, did they redo the rafters?
Yeah, they did. They completely redid the inside of the building. Because otherwise, I'd sneak in there and I'd liberate him.
Yeah.
Well, there goes an easy $100.
If not more.
Did you?
Yeah,
did you
sell
guys see
it to some Star Wars fan who'd pay
you see somebody
big money.
posted the big 6 foot tall bottle of Miller High Life the other day in the group?
No.
Whoa.
Maybe I think it was in Six Cycle Hum. Somebody was selling on Craigslist a.
I believe that was in the
bottle
Tone
of Miller High
Jerks.
Life. What's that?
I think it was in the Tone Jerks.
Oh, was it?
I'm pretty sure it was in the Tone Jerks.
But I actually used to have one of those because I loved Miller High Life back when I drank, and I was at a distributor in Pennsylvania, and they had this thing, and I was like, guys, if you ever get rid of that, here's my number, call me. And like a year and a half later, I just get this random number, and it was some guy from Linguals Distributing in Lewistown, Pennsylvania, and he said, hey, if you want this 6 foot tall Miller High Life bottle, come get it now, or it's going to the trash.
Hold on, we need to have a discussion about this. I don't think anybody loves Miller High Life. They tolerate Miller High Life.
No.
Like when champagne and beers.
I think
I was in a band, and
cheap pizza beer. If you got a cheap pizza, like a pitcher of High Life, you're having a good time.
Dude, don't get me wrong. I High Life, Tone Jerks got Natty Lights. I have High Life for Just Surprise Me all the time, but I don't love it.
I loved it.
I love the price.
When we would tour, I would, get drink tickets, and I could like whatever beer I wanted, and I would always ask for Miller High Life, and the bartenders would always be like, "No, you can get like whatever beer you want, bro." And I'd be like, "I want a Miller High Life."
There's something kind of refreshing about a High Life show too. Because
did they at least give you two for the price of one ticket?
Yeah.
They felt
Just
bad.
like, dude, keep your tickets, man. It's okay.
like a bottle of High Life has a
Beer's
really
$1.
like glass to liquid ratio, so it stays really crisp for a long time when you get a bottle of it. I feel like the bottle's kind of thick. There's more bottle than normal. Does that make sense?
Okay. I feel like it has a filmy aftertaste.
Oh,
Filmy in the mouth.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Well, that's why
so
you just keep going.
$7.99, 12-pack of a 12-pack of bottles for $7.99 always. Anytime you can get for $7.99, 12-pack.
This is why I had to
Awesome.
stop drinking, by the way, because I had that mentality.
So, do you think that your lack of smell/taste probably plays a role into your liking Miller High Life?
Probably. I'm sure that was
because I see this whole ad campaign now for people who have your condition, and it's like Miller High Life, the official beer of people without a sense of smell.
So basically what you're saying is not only can you not smell dog piss, you can't taste it either.
He found the joke.
Oh, how you know that, RJ? I don't want to know.
I'm just saying, like sometimes High Life can get a little funky. Like you grab like a 12-pack that kind of looks a little beat up. It's kind of in the back, and sometimes it tastes a little funky. I've had a few.
You know what? I'm from a small town in Pennsylvania originally, and if you get like Newcastle or something, nobody ever drank that, and so it would always be. It would have been in the fridge for 9 months, and that shit always tastes funky.
Yeah,
you have to
there's
get it fresh.
There's a deli that we buy lunch at every once in a while because it's the closest deli to my work, and some of the beer that's on there, the label. I don't know where this was stored. I don't understand.
Wait, you're allowed to drink at your work?
No, it's a deli near my work.
Okay, but you say you order as in I thought you
to get food because it's a deli.
Okay, continue. Anyways,
but
we're talking about beer,
not the beer.
I get food at the deli that also sells beer.
Okay.
Jeez, man. See what I have to put up with, people? So anyway, they've had beer on the shelves that I will just pull it out and be like, oh, this is interesting, and look at the expiry or the best by date, and the best by was 4 months ago. There was a couple bottles of some stuff where I was trying to figure out what was going on with the label because it looked like it was at some point the bottles were sitting out in the sun or sitting somewhere because they were bleached. The labels had been bleached. I was just like, what's going on here? How old is this?
Skunky beer.
Literally. So RJ, these are they had a bottle of Modern Times that I've never seen before. And
I didn't know Modern Times did bottles.
Yeah, they do bottles.
Do they do 32 ounces then?
They're bombers. They're 25s or whatever.
Oh, okay.
But I'm looking at it and I'm thinking I've never heard of this beer from them, and now that I think about it and really stop and think about it, it's not that I haven't heard of it because it's a new style. It might be that I haven't heard of it because it was so old that I've never been in a store that I go to.
Right.
There's some weird stuff in that deli.
Well, guys, I'm feeling pretty tired. What do you guys think about wrapping up?
Yeah, I think so. I saw you yawning pretty big and having that
absolutely.
I think I just turned the corner all of a sudden. I was like, oh.
He doesn't want to listen to any more of this Miller High Life talk.
I got
Welcome to 60 Cycle Skunky Beer.
Well, this has been fun, guys. This is a record. 8 people on at the same time. We had 9 at a point, right? Or no, we guessed what 9 like. So thanks for joining, everyone. Until next week, stay grounded.
Have a good one. Happy 4th.
Happy 4th.
Thanks.
This is the awkward ending.